How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode 10. Somehow we made it to 10 episodes of the Serenial podcast. With me, as always, is Enigma. How you doing tonight?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good,
I'm
good.
good.
Can't complain too much.
Yes, indeed.
What's the point? So what have you been up to this past week? Doing any streaming stuff? What are you up to?
Oh man, nothing too crazy. Still the usual hustle, the usual grind, working on video, streaming, all that good stuff. The trying to defeat this ever hated YouTube algorithm and whatnot.
I feel that for sure. It's always a battle.
Yeah, seriously.
YouTube's a crazy roller coaster when it comes to stuff like that, because I found with my channel, it's like, okay, grind, nothing. Grind. Oh, here's like 700 subscribers. It's like, okay. Then grind some more.
Yeah, it is completely confusing.
With like no growth. And then grind some more. Oh, here's like another 6,000. It's like, oh, right. Okay, YouTube. I would rather...
Hey, having those parts, that works.
It's great, don't get me wrong, but like, I would rather... Like, consistent growth would be better for my brain than, like, okay, I did this one thing properly. Now I gotta grind for another 4 years to get, like, another bump. But, I mean, I feel the pain. You just gotta...
Yeah.
Keep grinding.
I'd rather have consistent growth, too, rather than, like, a random, like, spurt here and random spurt there, because then it's kind of like, well, what am I really doing right or doing wrong when it just seems like it's just, like...
Right.
You know what I mean?
Feels random.
Instead of it's like a gradual growth.
Yeah. All you can really do is if something pops off is be like, oh, this appears to be working. So... I know we're live, but my phone begs to differ.
Really? Oh, I see it. Seems to be for me. I checked.
That's the main thing.
I mean,
feels random.
Yeah, it's there, all right. Hey, Ray Unit, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hell, YouTube promise. You know what I mean? YouTube issues, technical issues, forever.
Oh yeah,
that should be our slogan.
Yeah. Forever. We were saying before the chat about how what am I even talking about? Before the podcast, there we go. About the whole trophy hunting climate, as it were. Well, like whether or not it's actually like good for gaming, if it's like opinions on it, where we got started, all of that. Because like me personally, the idea kind of came to me because I've been doing streams of Nier Replicant, and there's so many like there's like one trophy in particular that's super RNG item drop grindy, that's frustrating. But I still want to get the trophy. But, like, is it really even worth getting the trophy? How do you feel about them, Enigma?
I think it reminds me of, like, the good old days, like, being a teen, playing on the Xbox 360. That's, like, what introduced me to, like, trophies, achievements, same concept, just different name because it's a different platform. And... when I was younger with my friends, we'd go out for certain games we've really enjoyed. We'd probably sit there and like spend like hours and days and weeks like getting all these trophies just to say we got like every single one, 100% completion, 100% trophies, platinum trophy. Right. But it depends on how much you really enjoy it. I know from a business standpoint, it makes sense to implement because it keeps the people more enticed on playing your games. Now games aren't even be allowed to be released without having some kind of trophy list or achievement list. You're just not allowed to. Like they demand it for any game released on like Xbox or PlayStation. And it's for the multiplayer ones especially. I was never a big fan of like grinding out every trophy on a multiplayer game because,
right.
I mean, you have to get into a schedule where I'm playing with these people like every day for so long to get this one. So it really depends too if it's like single player stuff or if it's multiplayer. It comes from a very different like perspective, I feel, because they're just trying to get you to play their game as long as possible, especially when it
Right.
comes to something that has DLC. And then some trophies require you to buy the DLC, and some require you to, grind so long. And if you buy the DLC, then you can get it quicker because you have like bonuses and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I feel like from that aspect, I could see it from the aspect of a business. Like it does help them in some way
Right.
achieve greater like sales and whatnot and more like notoriety, because then that's something for people, or even from an aspect of a writer, that's something for people to write about. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we've seen articles where the headline is like, this is the hardest trophy to get in the game and this person got it in like 2 days. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's just eye catching, like, oh, I wonder why is it so hard, now let me try. And then it's just something else for them to put into. So I see it from a business aspect. From just a
Yeah.
player, it's just fun. It's just something to catalog, or really to like journal kind of what your exploits were like in said video game or whatnot. Like, oh,
Right.
it's a good memory, like a fond memory. Like, oh yeah, I got that trophy when I did this. It's just
Hmm.
for like storytelling purposes and whatnot, just for fun's sake.
Yeah.
But I see it from both perspectives.
I didn't even really think about it like that, and about how it can be good for just like the game. How would you even say it? Just like the whole gamer, like how you were saying, like, oh, you can make the like articles about it. It's like it's beneficial for the companies to do it, but then there's like all like the aggregates around it that are like, oh, well, we can make articles about it, and then like content creators can also be like, hey, these are tough trophies, or like, hey, I'm gonna get this trophy. This is how you get it.
Exactly, and, right? Articles, guides, and all that stuff about it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel it should make or break like your decision on like buying a game or playing it or anything like that.
Right.
But it is an extra. To me, it's just something extra. Like, oh yeah, this trophy. Let me see. And it's
Right.
just a way. I mean, like back before trophies and achievements existed, people did stuff like this, like, oh, kill 1,000 enemies, but there was no way like built into the system to keep track of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you'd have to keep track of it like yourself. Like, oh, I did a run where I beat it like in 3 hours. But now I mean, I guess you could say in a way, for some people at least, it's just a sense. It gives you a sense of bragging. Like
Yeah.
you're able to boast about what you did because it's proven. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you don't have to just. It's not like you're not just making it up. Like, oh yeah, I did that. Oh, you can't prove it. I was like, oh well, I can actually. I got this achievement right here that says I did it, and it's from Microsoft or Sony. So, it's always it's kind of cool in a way.
Yeah. It's like this shiny, the shiny gold trophy. Look what I did.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, especially for. I mean, honestly, when you're younger, like I said, when I was younger, that was something like, oh, we get to boast and brag about, and you know what I mean.
Right. And like I didn't care about trophies at all for the longest time until I finally got one, and I'm like, well, I got this one, and now I pretty much anytime I play a game, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get the platinum trophy, but like I will usually feel like defeated if I don't. But like if I'm not, I just have to put it through my head. Like if I'm not having fun getting the trophies, then just don't get them. Like it shouldn't. Like it's supposed to be fun. Like it shouldn't be like a frustrating situation.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of games. I'm like one or two trophies away, but it's so freaking grindingly like irritating that I just can't be bothered to do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like max out every character. Any trophy that says you have to play online for like 100 hours to do something, or you have to
Right.
get like max levels on every character, I just toss that and out of my mind. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not maxing out every single character in the game to do
Right.
like just to get a trophy. I don't need to brag about it that much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like there's some games I go into it just knowing
But
like, I'm not gonna get
cool.
this trophy. Like Dark Souls, no thank you. You can have your platinum trophy.
Oh yeah, no, definitely no, not at all. It's
some-
nuts. I remember.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, but something like a Final Fantasy, because I'm like crazy about them, I'm more inclined to be like, well, I can get the trophy, even if not Final Fantasy 9 though. Final Fantasy 9, forget about it. People are trying to talk me
Oh, I
into
never
it,
checked
but I'm really hesitant.
that one.
You have to get 1,000
Final
jump
Fantasy 9 is
ropes.
one of my favorites.
You have to do the jump rope 1,000 times. That's the reason I don't want to do it. Just right there.
Oh, that's annoying. I'm not doing that either. I never saw the
Right.
trophy list for Final Fantasy VII remastered because I only played the original and it didn't have a trophy list. But you played on the PS4?
Yep.
I'm like Final Fantasy 9 was one of my favorites. Honestly, like
Nine's good.
It's one of my it's top 3 for me. Like 9, 10, and like 7. Or 7 remake or either way, same thing. You know,
right.
like definitely the best.
Oh yeah.
But man, trophies. Ones that like really, some of them are fine. It depends on the game too. Like, if it's a game where it requires you to go travel the whole ends of the whole map, every single where, like collecting every single thing that's scattered all over the place, that gets kind of like samey and kind of boring.
Right.
Unless it's like fun. Spider-Man, I did that. Like Spider-Man Miles Morales, I got the platinum trophy in a few days because it was fun. I liked the web swinging all over the place. Right. It was cool, But if it's just walk 1,000 miles with the character around the map, it's like, for what? Yeah. Who's going to just do that?
For what purpose?
It should make sense within the game. Yeah. Like, it shouldn't just be something that is forced. You know what I mean?
Right, just like an arbitrary goal. It's like, why am I going to walk 1,000 miles? Like,
why am I walking all over the map?
Like, it's one thing if it's like, walk this far, but throughout the normal course of the game, you just would anyway. Yeah. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like kind of ridiculous. If it's like kill 10,000 enemies, like at some point it's kind of like, well, why? If I only killed 3,000 and I beat the game, I have to go beat the game 3 more times to get the trophy. It's like you're kind of just putting that in there just because you want to play your game like 5 times or something, It's like,
funny. It's funny you said 10,000 specifically because that's literally a Final Fantasy 9 trophy. Kill 10,000 enemies.
That's a number in I forgot what game it was. The game I was playing recently, it said like I got a trophy for killing 1,000 enemies, and then there was another one for killing like 3,000 or 4,000. I'm just like, I'm not doing this. Like, it's too much, man. Like, let's be realistic. I have other games to play. Like, the average person, pretty sure, if they're really playing video games, like they have other games to go on to. Right. So it has to be kind of realistic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey,
like, it can't be too time consuming. Yo, what's up, Faye? What's up? Alexis, freaking, oh man.
Ugh. But yeah, I find as a streamer though, like I can justify trophy grinding a bit more because it just gives me an excuse to be like, well, I can spend more time playing this game and just like talking about it in general, unless it's like really infuriating.
Exactly. Because for streaming it makes sense because some people want to see you, because like I'm sure you've seen like different trophies, like, oh, how do I get that one? You gotta look it up online. Right. So some people want to see somebody, it could be fun, entertaining in a way, like see them struggle to get it and whatnot, see like that skill they have.
Instead of being like, I'm not torturing myself to do it, but I'm gonna watch this sucker do it.
Yeah, exactly. That too. It's like, I'm gonna watch this person struggle like walking the 1,000 miles in the game instead of me doing it. It's not as tedious.
But like one of the games that I just can't be bothered personally, or like I can't be bothered now. If I went in Kingdom Hearts, if I went into them thinking about getting the platinum trophies, I might have been more inclined. But in order to get the platinums for most of them, it's like, okay, beat it on the hardest difficulty. It's like, okay, I already beat it on normal. I don't feel like playing it again. So like some of them will be like, okay, you beat it on hard, so like normal is also cleared. But like to do like another full playthrough, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Because that was back before I cared about trophies.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I'm trying to think. I think I have 20, like on PlayStation at least. I have like 23 platinum trophies. I think actually. Let me. I don't see the app.
Somewhere in the 20 range myself. I don't have much in the way of like Xbox achievements.
I have 26 platinum trophies right now on PlayStation, and that's from back in when I first made this account, like almost 10 years ago, from the PS3 days. Gotcha. Like, I just got one like last month, I think, or something like that. but I'm not typically one that goes for platinum trophies. Like
Gotcha.
a lot of these are the 70s, 80s, 90s, and I just never wanted to go back in and get that last 2 or 3 trophies.
Right.
It's a little bit too tedious when you have like a collection of games you're still trying to get through.
Right.
But for the people, I think it's more so something for people that focus heavily and don't on one game and don't have either the finances or the time to invest into like a whole bunch of different games. That makes more sense. Focus all, get the platinum, complete it 100% because I only have like these 3 games for the rest of the month to play because I can't get another one yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're buying games on sale like every week, it's like you don't have the time to like that.
Otherwise,
you never finish.
Have, like some crazy backlog that you'll never catch up on.
Yeah, they just pile up, and you never get through them all.
Which I'm
but no,
bad
some games are nuts.
And then it's even worse.
Exactly.
With, PS Plus. Not worse, but it's like here are these free games. It's like I'm never gonna play all these, but they're free.
Yeah, it adds even more. Exactly. Like, oh wow, Ray Unit says some Kingdom Hearts games you have to do a level 1 run on one of the difficulties. Yeah, stuff like that where they're having you do some crazy game run where you have to be like level 1 and beat it, or you have to do the whole game without dying. Wild stuff like that is for the hardcore, most enthusiastic person of that game to do. Like speedrunning. It's impressive. I just can't picture myself doing it. It's nuts.
I'll very rarely do a speed run in a game. Every so often I'll feel compelled to try, but I don't have the patience. Because I'll start going, I'll make one mistake and be like, okay, run's over. And then I just get angry in about an hour, and then I'm like, okay, this is why I don't speed run.
Yes.
When I was playing Resident Evil 3 though, when it first came out, no one had any speedrun records in it, so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna blow through it, on the hardest difficulty with the rocket launcher, because it's just fun blowing up zombies with the rocket launcher. So I was just trying to do that as fast as I could.
No, yeah, definitely. Resident Evil is one of the that series is the one where people probably speedrun the most. Resident Evil, Mario, Mega Man, the classics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because people have played it so long, their whole life, they just have it down, every movement. I think that stuff is honestly truly impressive.
Big time.
I just can't imagine myself doing it at all. I literally sit here amazed when on a rare occasion I put one on. I sit here and I'm just this is I can't do this. I want to put down my controller. Oh man, I quit. That's too much, But yeah, it's speedrunning is similar to the trophy hunting. It's do you really want to? It's how much effort can you put in time and practice into it? You know what I mean? That depends on your schedule, I guess. But it's a lot, and it is something impressive for people that are into that.
Right. Kind of goes hand in hand with the platinum and the speedrunning, because for the Mega Man 11 platinum, that was the hardest platinum trophy I got, and one of the achievements was beat the game in an hour. I can't tell you how many times I got 62 minutes, 61 minutes. It was
Which game? Which Mega Man?
Oh, Mega Man 11.
Oh, 11. Oh, I never played 11.
Yeah, 11 was good.
All right.
I did enjoy it quite a bit, but that speedrunner trophy, oh my god. It took me so many tries. And I came so close so many times. It's so frustrating, but eventually I did it.
Oh yeah, that's another thing I don't like speedrunning trophies either typically, because when it's I know Resident Evil is a series that has that. My friend got the platinum trophy on Resident Evil Village and Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 3 remake, he told me oh well, some of these you have to beat the game in 3 hours, and I'm just why do people put these trophies? It's they just put all that time making the game and then put a trophy in beat the game as fast as you can. It's
but I want to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I know, right? It's it feels kind of productive, but I guess you can. It depends on what kind of player you are. So I guess they're trying to appeal to people that would be into speedrunning, giving them a trophy, and also the others as well. Putting the option in there doesn't hurt.
I get it with Resident Evil because like even from the I think even Resident Evil 1 they would have things where like, oh, you got to the end, here's your stats. Oh, you beat it in 4 hours, you get a B rank. If you do it in 3 hours, you'll get the A rank. If you do it in an hour and a half, you'll get the S rank. So it's I kind of get it for Resident Evil, but it's still something I generally can't be bothered with. I got the platinum in Resident Evil 3 remake, but Resident Evil 2 remake I didn't bother. There's some trophies that are like you have to beat the game without taking 10,000 steps. It's like how do I even know how many steps I forget if that counters even in the game, but like it's trophies like that I'm like forget it.
Yeah, they're nuts. Like they want you have to like make a whole like I don't know. It's like you gotta have like a freaking pen and paper, like writing down,
Mm-hmm.
like doing calculations. Like, okay, I think if I do this, I'll be this much closer. And it's just, sometimes I'd have to have like a guide pulled up or like a video
Mm-hmm.
pulled up while I'm doing this, just so I know exactly how to get this trophy and all that stuff. And sometimes I just don't like doing all that.
Oh,
Depends,
I
like
get that for sure.
how much I really like the game. You know.
And it seems kind of funny to me like getting trophies when it's like okay I got this guide in front of me, so it's like what's even the point? I just want the trophy, but like I didn't figure it out. I just Googled it.
Exactly.
But,
Because when it comes to that, then it's kind of like, well, I kind of had to Google it, and I couldn't figure it out myself. So
I mean,
that's the part.
sometimes I'll see
That's the
stuff.
part that
It's
takes
like
away from it.
yeah. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
see stuff and it's like okay I should have figured that out. But then other times I'll Google it and like I would have never figured it out. And how did you figure it out? Like some stuff is just like
Exactly.
so obtuse.
Exactly. It is. It's just random. It's it's like it's like forced in a way because they're almost
Yeah.
forcing the average person or like 9 out of 10 people to really just go
Right.
look it up. Like, you know what I mean?
Because
When a new
like
game comes out, it's like who's gonna be the first person to post that video
right.
to how to get this trophy and how to get this achievement. Like, you know what I mean?
And like I know it's an old game, but like the Saga Frontier remaster that just came out, most of the trophies weren't that bad, but there were some monster trophies where it's like you got to turn into this monster, and what you have to do is you have to get this ability on top, this or like these three abilities, they have to be on top, and you have to get all three of these abilities, and then if you do, and then transform, you can turn into this monster. It's like how would I ever figure that out? Like I would have to look at it.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
yeah, the game's
crazy.
old, but like you're not gonna just figure that out. You're gonna look it up.
Exactly. It, no one's gonna 9 out of 10 people are gonna look it up. And
Right.
and I mean that ties into the whole that's why these people it's like it's like it brings me back to when I was a kid. We didn't even have like video guides. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like YouTube. We had to like go online, man, and like look for a written walkthrough.
Yeah.
Like,
If you were
oh
lucky, there
man,
would be
now
one.
everybody just has videos. It's so much easier now.
Oh, big
You
time.
could just do it on your phone. I'd have to like go on the computer and like read and remember what it says, and then
Right.
I'd have to go back upstairs to my room and my TV and then like do that. Now it's like, oh, there's a whole video that like just shows me exactly what to do step by
Right.
step. You just
It's
put it
great.
right there on your phone next to it, and then you copy them. Dude, like it's nuts, you know?
And then if you go back even further than that, it's like, okay, we don't even have the internet. I need this. I either got to buy a walkthrough from, like Kmart or whatever, or you're just not beating the game. You're just going to be stuck for months until you figure it out. Like some of those
Exactly.
RPGs was just a nightmare.
All the magazines that had like what to do and everything like that and all the
Oh, yeah.
information. Oh man, those are freaking good old days.
I
Oh,
love. They
what's
were
up,
great to have, but
Hohenheim
like,
Monsuego?
hey, what's going on?
Oh man, yeah, hell yeah. I remember I used to get PlayStation magazine back when I was a kid,
Oh yeah, I had
and I used
Nintendo
to read
Power,
that like,
Game
oh man,
Pro.
this is nice. It used to come with demos and everything like that to play.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I think
totally.
yeah, the Game Pro one. I used to have a stack of them too.
I still have like a whole treasure chest full of like Nintendo Power and Game Pro that I have with like the odd EGM and like tips and tricks thrown in. I really should have made more of a point to get the ones with the demos though. Like that's the way to do it. Looking back. I used to rent games a lot. Ray Eunice. Try to beat Tales of Berseria Plat Trophy. Well, the trophies call for you to use all certain skills they get. Some of them are hard to do. So I stopped. It just like, you need 100% of everything to get this trophy.
Oh, Tales of Berseria? That was a pretty good game. I did not get the platinum on it. I don't even know how many. I'm gonna see how much percentage I have in that game because that one was. I've only played 3 Tales games. I'm waiting for the new one, Tales of Arise. It's supposed to come out this year.
Oh, okay.
Have you played like some of the Tales games?
I've played
Tales of.
I've played Tales of Destiny 2, like I don't know, a little bit of Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Legendia. That's about
I played Symphonia as a kid. I don't think I ever beat it though. I played Berseria and Zestiria, I think.
Okay.
I have played those 2. I haven't played the other ones, but I'm waiting for like the new one.
Right.
It's gonna have a PS5 release, a PS4, and Xbox One. I think it's supposed to be out later this year. Hopefully they're
for sure.
Hopefully they're gonna improve it graphically a little bit. Some of these games they all just look like the same in every like edition of the freaking game. Maybe they need to update the game engine,
Right.
But they're pretty good, albeit
I like them.
This tale of their stories are often convoluted. I don't know why. They're just so. It's like complex. I'm like, we don't need all this stuff, but JRPGs have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, some of the most confusing stories ever.
Especially Kingdom Hearts.
Oh. You have to play every game like in a certain order, and then read like some book. It's like, what the hell? You got to get like the special edition this to like find out what happened here, or read like the comic book. I'm like,
you need to play the mobile games of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, you got to play the mobile game too.
Like when I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3, like I was playing all the Kingdom Hearts up to it, which was like an effort. But then, like right at the end, I slacked off with the mobile games, and then I got to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and then they're showing people that I was mostly understanding what was going on, and then characters from the mobile game started showing up, and I'm like, okay, I did my best. Kingdom Hearts.
Found it. Tales of Berseria. I only got 30% of the trophies on this game.
Okay.
I never really went deeper into it to get the other ones. Like I just kind of beat it and like went like on to the next game. Honestly. Played like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Okay. It wasn't bad though. But that's another one of those series where they don't continue after one another for the most part. Like Final Fantasy. They're kind of like most of them are all standalone.
Unless it like explicitly states it. Because I don't know, but I imagine Tales of Destiny and Tales of Destiny 2 are connected somehow. I know there's 2 Tales of Symphonia games.
Those are, yeah.
But like beyond that, I figure
Tales of Berseria and Tales of Zestiria are connected a little bit because one takes place like 100 years later, but in the same like area. But so they make references to like the past characters, but I mean that's like a small connection there. But they're good. I just feel like they can I like it when game series are really more so connected. You know what I mean? Like from game to game. Final Fantasy is great. Sure. Like each game standalone is pretty dang good. But imagine it was one long running series of like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like one long story. Yeah. Imagine. I mean, I could have made it do worse or better. We don't know. But
right.
Hell.
Like, I know games like that's why I like the Suikoden series so much. It's like 5 RPGs, but they're like all connected. They're like some of them will take place in different times, different places in time, and like you'll see characters from the previous games and other games, but then you'll play a game that's like 200 years in the past, and you'll run into a character, and you'll be like, "Why are you alive?" So it's like it's just interesting to like see how everything's connected and learning about all these different characters and stuff. And find like you'll hear about a place that's mentioned in like the first game, but then you'll like finally get to go there in like the 4th game. So it's like it's just neat. I like it when games do that these days.
Yeah, they have like somewhat of a connection. At least,
Yeah,
like
full
I like
world.
when they make callbacks to other games. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like in the series. Like, oh yeah, I know that reference.
Yeah,
I mean, it must suck for the people that are new to it though.
right.
But I really get into a story when I'm playing like a game, a series. So I like, oh yeah, I remember that character. I played that game years ago.
Yeah,
You know.
Dragon Quest does
But
that
hell,
too.
JRPGs in particular do that. Oh, Metal Gear. That's another series that has the story that's completely convoluted, and you have to play like freaking a dozen different games.
I bet.
Like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the spin-off, and then there's like another spin-off,
Yeah,
and then there's like
Vengeance.
freaking and I'm like
Metal Gear Acid.
I have to watch videos. Like I had to watch videos online to try to catch the story because I'm like I'm not doing all this. Like it's ridiculous.
Don't blame you.
You know, it's freaking convoluted.
I hear those games have some pretty nightmarish platinums, like especially 4. I hear it's like really bad. You have to beat the game like 5 times.
Yeah, man. It's what Metal Gear. I mean, I never played. I played the first one. I beat that like 2 or 3 times. Like Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation.
Right.
I never played like the newer ones, like 4 and 5, that actually have like trophies aboard and whatnot. So I mean, I don't even know.
I guess there was like a re-release version of 1 and 2 that do have trophies.
Yeah.
I just heard about this recently.
I have it. I just never actually played the remastered version. I have it like on the freaking Vita.
Gotcha.
I just never got around to playing it yet. So I don't know. I never checked what the trophy list is yet.
But like I hear 4 in particular is a nightmare. But like I don't know. I still need. I played 1. I have the rest of them. I just need to play them.
No, I recommend that series. Did you play the first like 1 or first 2?
I played
Metal Gear Solid?
Well, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 a little bit, like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Like, back when it was, Metal Gear Solid 2 was new on the PS2. I played it a little bit, but I wasn't into it at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I played Metal Gear 1, or Metal Gear Solid 1, I should say, back in, I wanna say 2017, and it was good. And I'm like, I need to play more of these, and I just haven't.
Oh man, that Metal Gear Solid 1 is like when I made my video for the top 10 PlayStation games ever. Metal Gear Solid 1 was it was on there somewhere. For those that didn't watch the video, go check it out. It's a stroll down memory lane for real. But that's one of my favorite games. I played it as a kid, and like I remember watching my brothers play it. And then when I got my own PlayStation, I played that game like I was like 10 or something like that.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this game's great. And then I played part 2. I never beat it though because I had only rented it. But I never got back into play 2 because I want to play them in order. Yeah. So I played 2 and never beat it. Played 3 and never beat it. And since I didn't beat those, I never went and got 4 or 5 because I didn't want to play them out of order because it's just a really good story. I feel like it deserves me to be playing it in order to try to catch up on what's going on exactly.
Did you ever play?
But definitely another one with a computer.
The Metal Gear games, like the ones on the MSX, like home computer.
No. Oh man, those came out. I was probably like a baby. I remember I forgot. Was it Sega or was it Nintendo?
It was on like a completely different thing called the MSX. I don't think we got it out.
Really?
Here. But you can emulate.
No, Metal Gear.
Well, there was Metal Gear on the Nintendo, but it was a different game than like the MSX Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Yeah, the first ever Metal Gear was from 1987. That was before I was even born, honestly. That was for, I see it. It's for the MSX, and then they ported it or released it on other stuff too. But now I never played Metal Gear 1 or Metal Gear 2. I started in Solid. That was 98.
That's a good jumping in point.
But that's what revolutionized the whole series, honestly.
Oh, did it ever?
They made it 3D and all that stuff. Freaking one of the most classic games ever. That game made video gaming theatrical or cinematic rather.
Right. Oh, Kojima.
It was playing a freaking movie.
Yeah. And that just wasn't really a thing yet.
Yeah, it had decent voice acting, for late 90s, better than some other games,
back then. That was kind of the
they had Resident Evil. Resident Evil was considered pretty not too great with the voice acting. A lot of people made jokes about it. Metal Gear Solid is where people really was the acting, you know what I mean? The acting improved too, the sound quality, everything.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that really was one of the biggest things. I honestly feel like that's one of the biggest things of video gaming in the past 20 something years. You know what I mean? Like they paved the way for a lot of other series that kind of,
Oh yeah.
kind of copied it in a way. But
Oh,
they deserve the accolades.
oh yeah, he's pretty. Well, even now, Kojima's like
Definitely.
still heralded as like one of like the greatest like game. What do you call them?
Yeah, like
Directors.
writers, designers, and all that and stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Isn't he supposed to be doing something else? Like I thought there was like a rumor that Xbox was trying to get him like to do like an exclusive game or something. Have you heard about that?
I have no idea, honestly. I just remember the last game by him or whatever was
Right.
Death Stranding back in 2019. There might be one coming up. I don't remember, but he did pretty. He's well deserving of it. The Metal Gear Solid
Right.
Zone of the Enders. Oh, Zone of the Enders is
that
one of my
was him?
favorite PS2 games.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
was Kojima.
It was kind of similar in a way with like the cinematic effects and feel and whatnot.
I have the collection for maybe PS3. I forget. Zone of the Enders. Maybe it's PS4. I don't remember, but I have one of them.
I have Zone of the Enders Second Runner for PS4. That's one of my favorite games ever. Like, he also was behind Boktai, which
Yeah,
wasn't
I've
as
heard of
popular
that.
as Game Boy Advance.
That's crazy.
That was a Game Boy Advance
There's
game.
like a solar panel type of thing in it, and depending on like the light sources, it'll change stuff in the game or something crazy like that. It's like
Yeah,
something like that.
it is. I never played it originally on the Game Boy Advance. Honestly, I had to play it on an emulator.
Right.
But so it was a little different with the way the solar thing worked. But
Right.
yeah, if you go outside and play in the sun to recharge the gun, that's like the stuff that I came up with. I mean, I don't know if he was behind that idea itself,
Right.
but it says he was the producer of the game. So I mean, maybe he was. But hell, like that's some pretty good games to have under your belt. The Metal Gear Solid series, Zone
Oh,
Ender
yeah.
series, and Boktai series. Like, well, yeah.
Big time.
Hey, I'll take it. He's a name that goes down in video game history.
Yeah. Shara Evans, Kaboom and stuff. How you doing? What do you
Oh
have
man, yo, what's going on, guys? What
Next
game do
gen.
y'all have on y'all next to get or play? What do you have, man?
Well, like right now, I'm working through like Near Replicant and stuff. Probably after that, I heard that there's going to be a re-release of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, and I've never played. Like I've played Persona 5, but I haven't played any of the like SMT games. So that'll be my first one when I try it. So I'll play that. I guess it's coming out like the next month or so. So I
Oh,
might grab
really?
that
I never
when it comes out.
played any SMT games myself. Only like Persona 3, 4, 5, and then like
Right.
the spin-off or remasters or whatever. I'm waiting for 6, which I guess isn't going to be out for a while. I'm
Yeah,
sure, but
Not holding my breath on that
next up, I just recently picked up Bravely Default 2 for the Switch.
I need to
It came
play
out
that.
like back in February.
one. Yeah.
I just picked it up recently, because I was playing other games, but I just recently picked it up. And Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition for the PlayStation 5. I picked them both up just like a few days ago.
Okay.
So I've been streaming Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition
Oh,
since.
right.
You played the special editions, they always add like Virgil as a playable character in any of the special editions for like 3, 4, and 5.
Gotcha.
So I'm going through playing as Virgil now. And I'm going to play Bravely Default soon. And besides that, I'm waiting for Ratchet and Clank in June.
Yeah, that's right.
Scarlet Nexus is in June. Samurai Warriors 5 is in July. And the Mega, what's that called? Mass Effect Legacy
Yeah.
Edition just released today.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like out.
Yeah, just
I gotta
today,
check
man.
it
I mean, I'm gonna go to the store and pick it up. No rush because I have to finish these 2 or 3 games first, honestly. So I'll wait a little bit.
I'm
But I'm
gonna
definitely
play
looking
it,
forward to that.
because I haven't really played.
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I
man.
haven't. The only time I ever tried to play Mass Effect, I put in my 360. I just started to customize Shepard. Then like my 360 like red ringed of death on me.
Damn,
And I was
man,
like-
that's horrible.
So I was like, okay,
Oh, man.
okay, fine then the Fates. I won't play Mass Effect.
Yeah, dude.
Either
Wait, so you
way.
didn't get to actually play it after all?
No, I didn't even.
Oh,
I was just
man.
customizing Shepard, and then like it crapped
Dude.
out immediately. I'm like, fine.
I
then.
would be so upset. That's horrible. Like, was it the first one or which one are you
First
playing?
one. I had one
Oh,
and 2.
dude. Oh hell, that was. I only got into it because my friend had a 360 and he had Mass Effect and he was talking about games and he recommended it, so he just gave it to me. I think he said you could keep it, And
Okay.
I was like, all right, sure. And at this point, part two had came out already, and people were talking about how part two was so good, and I was like, okay, I'll get part one from you. I'll play it, see how the story is,
Right.
and then if I like it, I'll play part two so I can play it in order because I
Mm-hmm.
I like to play games in order.
Yeah, of course.
I played part one. I was like, oh well, it was good. The story was good. It needed some improvements, but this is a game from like 2007, I think.
Yeah.
Part one.
Yeah.
So it was the beginning of like the 360 kind of still,
Yeah.
But part two, I instantly went and got part two like as soon as possible, and that became one of my favorite games. I played it constantly over the course of like 4 days. I just played it like, nonstop. I'd wake up,
Cool.
play it, go to sleep, freaking play it when I wake up again, and just beat it. Then I beat it all over again, like just to do it. And I was like, this is a great game. And then part three came out like the next year, and I had
Right.
pre-ordered it and played it like to death too. And
Mm-hmm.
then Andromeda came out, and I was kind of like,
Heard people were like, about Andromeda.
part of the reason was that it was a whole different main character, like it's a whole different
Right.
story. It took place in a whole different like galaxy or whatever, or universe or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
galaxy or whatever. And none of the characters from the first three were there. On top of that, it was bugged and it had glitches and
Ah,
all of that, which of course always just kills games on launch,
big time.
But yeah, outside of that, then there's just the next two games, God of War and
Right.
I said Verizon.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. Gotta,
I'm not gonna
oh
play
man,
that.
dude, classic. Like I'm already calling it like God of War. If it comes out this year, it's going to be Game of the Year
I wouldn't be
or
surprised.
a contender without a doubt. And Horizon Forbidden West probably.
Yeah.
Like hell, and Ratchet and Clank. I mean, honestly,
When was the last
this is
time
gonna
we
be
had a new Ratchet game? It's been a while, hasn't it?
2016 actually, I believe.
Long enough.
Wait, 20.
Because we got 4 on the PS2, so it's like they kind of slowed down after a while.
Yeah, like the PS2 had 4. The PS3, if you count like the spin-off and the side game, it had like 4 or
Mm-hmm.
5 actually in the PS3. But the PS4 only had 1. I just checked.
the
It was
The Ratchet and Clank
yeah,
one?
no, the reboot. Yeah, no, the reboot basically or whatever
Yeah.
of the first one. It came out in 2016. That's a game where I almost got I'm like one trophy away from the platinum. But I just couldn't be bothered because I would have to basically beat the game all over again.
Yeah, I could see
Just
those
one
being
trophy.
tedious in those games.
Just one more. I told myself I'd go eventually get it. And I just never got it yet. Got around to it.
That's a hurry.
They basically just rebooted it, but that was a movie tie-in, like
Right.
because they was making a movie, and
Forgot about that.
so it was kind of not as I feel like as high quality, like as a game, because they was too busy kind of focusing on tying the two in together
Gotcha.
rather than focusing on making it just
A game.
as great as it could have been.
Right. Yeah, I should keep my eyes on the new Ratchet game. Whenever I get my grubby mitts on a PS5, that's got to be one I got to keep my eye
Oh
on.
damn, man! As soon as the first PS5 like exclusive game you should get, I'm telling you, is Ratchet and Clank. Like
Yeah.
I can't think of any others that really. That's the messed up thing. PS5 doesn't have many exclusives yet. I know it's only been 6 months or so, but
I'm going to begrudgingly want to play the Demon Souls remake. Because it's kind of like a redemption.
you're gonna torture
ring for
yourself.
me, well, the first run of Demon Souls I did, I really tortured myself.
Oh
I did
man,
not have a good time. But like I also found out after that like I didn't build my character the way I should have. And from what I understand, the game, like as far as that is concerned, isn't really much different. So if I build a character with like that stuff in mind, it should be a lot easier. But oh my god, I knew it's one of the biggest struggles I ever had streaming.
oh man, I was honestly tempted to get Demon Souls for the PS5 just because I wanted an exclusive PS5 game to play, and I was just like, I feel like I don't want to do it, but I was like itching, like just to have one, just you know what I mean. But I decided, never mind, I'll just wait because I wasn't gonna force myself to play it if I wasn't really like
if you're not
dedicated
into
to it. You know what I mean?
You got to be dedicated.
I'll
to
just
those
wait.
Games.
Maybe it'll become a PS Plus game like later on.
The only thing about
I can't. I just don't have patience anymore.
the thing about the PS5 Demon Souls is like on PS3 Demon Souls had like this really old look to it, but like it made it. It didn't make it feel like it was dated. It just made it feel like the game took place a long time. Like I thought it just helped with the atmosphere of the game. But now it's like all shiny and like it looks good. But I just feel like there's a certain amount of like that atmospheric tension is just gone. But maybe I would feel differently about it if I were to play it once I start dying.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, compared to the original PS3 version, right? You saying?
Yeah.
I never played any of them, but definitely from the PS3 to the PS5,
right.
It's definitely a graphical improvement. I looked at the comparison of them, and I was like, oh no, it looked good, that's for sure. I just feel like with my patience, I'd get too frustrated and like freaking break something, honestly, or just sell it.
If you were to play any of them, I haven't played Sekiro, so I can't really speak to that one. But like, if you were to start with any of them, I would recommend Bloodborne. Because it's like...
I tried. I know, that's the one I tried, and I didn't. I just... Well, when I tried Bloodborne, and I was like, nah. Okay. After that, I was like, no, I'm not going to try the other ones. Because everyone was telling me, oh, try Bloodborne. If you don't like that one, then you won't like the rest. So I was like, okay, I'll try Bloodborne.
I agree. Yeah, if you didn't feel but that, because it's more action.
Sekiro...
Dark Souls is a little more like what you learn from Bloodborne is good to take with you to Dark Souls. If you play Dark Souls first and then go to Bloodborne, you're going to get your ass kicked, like, worse. Because there's a lot of, like, tanking in Dark Souls, where Bloodborne, it's like, no, you move out of the way. But, like, you can do that in Dark Souls. The meta is almost like you stand there and tank, but, like, no, if you dodge, you're good.
No, yeah, I feel you. Like, freaking,
yeah, if you don't like it.
But you mentioned Sekiro. Like, one of my friends, he's played that game to, like, death at this point. You know, like, multiple, like, I think he might have got the platinum already. And he always tells me, oh, this game is so good. And I'm just like, I mean, you keep telling me it's like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, so I'm just not going to play it. But, you know what I mean?
Gotta call
like, the more you say that, the less I'm likely to get it myself.
Right.
You know, but he definitely told me it is very challenging. You played that one?
No. Never played Sekiro. Just Demon's Souls,
looked
Dark
good.
Souls 1, and Bloodborne. I have Dark Souls 2 and 3, though, that eventually I'll torture myself with.
Oh, man.
No trophies, though. I don't care about the trophies. Just get through them.
Oh, man, freaking... Yeah, kaboom, I agree with you. Mass Effect 1 is good, but 2 is amazing. That's definitely true. How I feel about the series is 2, out of the trilogy, 2 is the best, and then 3, and then 1. But if we're going based off of story only, then I'd say 2 has the best story, or 1 probably has the best story, then 2, then 3. Because 3 kind of just, with that ending, they kind of...
Yeah.
It just didn't make nearly as much sense as the other ones did.
Right.
And, yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda did so bad, it was supposed to be a trilogy and only got 1... I didn't know it was supposed to be a trilogy.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know. That's actually news to me, honestly. And freaking hell. 2016 was the remake, yeah. I didn't see the Ratchet & Clank movie. Since I played the game, I didn't feel like watching the movie was honestly... like, because they threw in like scenes from the movie itself into the game. And it had like basically the same plot. So I was kind of like... I passed on the movie, honestly.
Yeah, I heard,
Switch had almost no exclusives at launch, but it had high-quality games. I don't know about the Switch. I don't even know what the Switch launch games were. I bought my Switch about a year and a half after launch, and even at that point, I barely had any games to get for it, like maybe 2 or 3 games. Right. Like, I still feel like the Switch 5, it's been 4 years now since it launched. I think it came out 2017 spring. 4 years now. I still only have like 10 games maybe for it, you know, and that's in 4 years, that's not really a lot. But it does have high quality games, like a few. I just feel like it needs more, you know?
I hear you with
definitely.
That, like I had, like compared to how many games
they lean heavily on Mario. That's about it.
Like I barely touched my Switch.
Oh, man.
It was basically my Mario 35 machine. I didn't play it much beyond that.
Oh, dude. In 4 years on the PS4, I had like 70 games almost. 4 years on the Switch, I would have like 10. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, Nintendo
it's kind of
being like, instead of sales, we're going to make our games more expensive. It's like, okay, Nintendo.
Yeah, we don't have... Oh, man. Like, Nintendo's Nintendo is crazy. I remember when I wanted to. I bought a 3DS, like the new 3DS, like the big. They made a new model that was like bigger and everything like that. Because the regular 3DS is too small. I'm like, I don't have tiny hands. I can't do that.
Right.
You know. But I bought the new Nintendo 3DS, and I wanted to get Zelda, the remake, of course, or remaster, or whatever they called it. That was my first game I wanted to get, really. And I went to GameStop. Huh?
Was that Link's Awakening remake?
No, not that one. Wait, you mean A Link Between Worlds for 3DS?
Oh, 3DS. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Good. I was good.
They made an Ocarina of Time like remake or remaster, and they did one for Majora's Mask.
Yep.
And when I went to GameStop to get that Ocarina of Time 3D version or whatever they called it, it was more. They were selling used more than it was new. Like, I was like, how is that even? I was like, is that legal?
It's like, is anyone paying attention here? Like, why would you buy the used one? Get it together.
No, because they didn't even have a new copy, and I was just like, this is more than the retail price, because it was so hard to get. It was like the game was so sold out that they were selling it used for higher than it would cost at original launch. Like, it was $50 instead of like $40.
Okay.
I was like, that was nuts. I was like, I don't even know that was legal to do. Like, GameStop has some shady practices. That's random, but
I'm sure the people that traded those games in, they're like, $1.
Oh, you want Zelda? Oh, that's a good game. I'll give you $2.
Right.
And then they sell it for $45, $50. It's like, you're crazy.
It's like, just give them to your grandson or a nephew. Just like, it's not even worth the pennies you get.
Yeah.
How hard up?
Yeah, I mean,
sell it privately.
Yeah, seriously. I stopped trading in games to GameStop like a few years ago after I just saw that they were selling. I went there and I saw my copy of a game I traded into them one day, like, because I knew it had like a sticker and I remember the mark on it had. And I was like, that's my copy. And they were selling it for about 3 times as much as they gave me. They gave me like $5, $6, and they were selling it for like 20 or something. And I was like,
I'm surprised.
I was like, what? I could have sold it for $20 if I found someone to buy it. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And save the tax or whatever, you know? It's just nonsense. I only buy stuff typically if I can't find it somewhere else.
Right.
Or if they're having like a promotion. Like when I bought Bravely Default 2, and Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition just recently, you know, I only bought Bravely Default 2 at that time too because there was a promotion. He's like, oh, if you buy a game and it's over this price and it's like new and you get another game and it's like 30% off, like kind of all these stupid numbers. And I was like, oh, well, I did want this game too, so you say I'll get friends off. Oh yeah, toss it in there too. And I wound up saving money compared to if I bought them separately. So I was like, oh, in that situation, and I had a coupon. I'm like, in that situation, fine.
Right.
Outside of that, I'm not trading in games to them. I just save up points and then use those points to get money off another game. And, you know.
There was one time where, what was I saying? Lost my train of thought. Oh, when there's one time, normally I hoard games like crazy. There's one time ever in my life that I ever sold any of my games. And I sold like, I don't know, 18 or so of my PS2 games to GameStop. There was at least 2 of the games that I traded in where they're like, we'll take them, but we won't give you any money for them. It's like, you can't even give me like a dime? I'll just keep them then. What do you mean you're just going to take them? I think the most that I ever even got was like, I don't know, one of the games might have been like $2. I just remember, was it 20 games and I got $18? I just remember the number 18 was involved in that whole thing. So there's some games like this one's $0.25. Ooh, this one's $2. Like, it was just, no, never doing this again. I don't need space that badly.
I need cash and I need space, honestly. So I just rather sell to private dealers. You know what I mean? Because GameStop and other stores, the trade-in value is almost worthless. Honestly, it's like trading in your car to a dealership. The prices are just so off. You know, even worse actually, because GameStop is. But that's why so many of them are closing up shop. Like, you know, and I heard they treat their employees so poorly, but that's a whole other story that can take freaking hours. But no, I just sell them. You know, and during the beginning of the pandemic, I sold a bunch of games because GameStop and all the other businesses were closed, and people were online heavily looking to buy games because they were
Right.
stuck indoors, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, everything was closed. I'm driving around, meeting up people, selling them games. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, Because I tell them, like, hey, man, I feel you. I know GameStop's closed. It's like, it's like you're getting something in return and you're helping somebody. Honestly, like it's a win-win
Yeah.
situation. It's different than like
Right.
GameStop. I feel like, oh, you're
Right,
ripping me
just
off, man.
faceless corporation just trying to turn you upside down and shake the chains out of your pockets.
Exactly, but my video game closet is almost completely full too. Also, though, that's kind of a problem between PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox One,
Right.
Switch, PlayStation One, and
Mm-hmm.
every game freaking system that I've ever had. Like,
Right.
and that's after selling a whole bunch. I still have it almost full. So
Yeah.
I too consider myself like a collector. And then all the limited edition stuff, it adds
Oh,
up. But my closet isn't the biggest either, to be fair. So I mean,
But like some of the stuff, it's like if you're not using it, then someone. That's what I think about my collection sometimes. Because like if I'm not playing the games, like should I really be hoarding up? Like should I really hoard them, or should I let someone who's actually going to play them enjoy them? Like if it's another collector, like I don't care. I'll just keep it then. But if it's someone that would actually play the game, it's like should I really be just hoarding this then? If I'm not playing it. It's one of those things.
exactly.
I just like to have them though. I just like the look of it.
Exactly. Sometimes I sell games so I can get some more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like especially when you're strapped for cash, it does help to sell some games and get some cash back. Reinvest into other games that you would like to have now. But I had a friend who used to, he was pretty strapped for cash. So if he really wanted the game, of course he would he would trade in like. I remember I took him to GameStop or went with him one day, like years ago when we were younger,
Right.
and he took like a stack of games like this, like 7, 8, 9 games, just because this game came out like that he wanted.
Yeah.
I don't remember what game it was. It might have been the new Batman or something like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him about it again, like freaking. But I was like, dude, you're trading like 9 games for one game. I'm like, hell, like just wait for it to go on sale.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or
Right
sell them separately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't need it ASAP. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, hey, Alex Snow.
Alex Snow, how you doing?
What's it going? Welcome, Jay Bay.
Jay Bay,
Freaking, oh, man. GameStop is freaking, we could talk about GameStop forever.
Like no.
I don't wish places to go out of business because I feel bad for the employees, But I'm like, if you're doing bad business or it's like really anti-consumer in my opinion, I'm like, you kind of deserve something.
Right.
Like you got to do something to show. Like, if you make it so blatantly obvious that you're all about profit and that's it, how far can you really go? Unless it's like an absolute must that people need.
And now these places, like I noticed that there's like less and less games and more like don't get me wrong, I like me, the odd game like action figure or something. But it's like before it was like, oh, here's like just like this specialty corner of it, but now it's like half merchandise, half games. So, there's this other place a local place I used to go to that was like exclusively, well, it was more like half and half, but now it's like good luck finding a game there. Just all like figures and wallets and stuff.
Yeah, GameStop and all their store turned into merchandise store. It's not even like games. You know what I mean? Like I walk in and I'm like, what are you trying to sell? Like plushies and figurines, and I used to go in there, it was only games. That's it. Just games galore. I was really upset when they got rid of the PS Vita section, because I used to play my PS Vita so heavily for like a good 4 or 5 years, like around there.
Okay.
And then slowly the Vita section just would disappear more and more. By like 2018, it was like dwindling down to nothing. And I'm like, oh no, I miss it so much. But hell, just to get rid of that stuff and put more freaking keyboards and light up freaking keyboards and headsets and I don't know. I know this makes me sound old, but I find like current games are just cash grabs and not typically that fun. Hey man, if that makes you sound old, then I'm old with you because I feel the same way sometimes. 360 and PS3 was like peak gaming. The Halo 3 is my response to that. I played that for like 3,000 hours probably or something. I played a lot of Call of Duty and Halo 3 at that time. Like, honestly.
I had a 360.
And Gears.
But I wasn't really, like, the PS3, 360, like, Wii era, I mostly missed out on. I wasn't really gaming at that time, so I missed a lot of stuff.
Those were good times, man. I was just on Halo 3 all night, like, with my friends, just playing like a freaking fiend. But do you want the extended warranty? Oh, welcome, Ven. Yes, that is the most classic line of GameStop.
Never.
He tried to talk me to get into warranty. I was like, no, nothing happens to my games. And he's like, no, don't say that. You know, like, I'm like, oh, what? I'm going to jinx myself? He's like, yeah. And I was like, everyone asked me this. You go to Best Buy, whenever you're buying a game anywhere, do you want the warranty? No, the game is going to go from the box into my PlayStation, and then it's going to come back into the box, into my closet, and no one, hopefully, should ever touch it.
I don't think I've ever bought a game that I've had a problem with. Like, if the game's that busted that I bring it home and it doesn't work, I'm going to immediately come back and you're going to refund me anyway. I don't care about...
If it doesn't work when I buy it, then that's a problem, but, you know,
otherwise,
the last time I had a game stop working on me, I was, like, in middle school or something. Like, I was a kid and it got scratched. That doesn't... Once you take care of your stuff better, you're kind of past the, oh no, you know what I mean? Unless you're like loaning it out to a whole bunch of people, you know? No one touches my game, so nothing happens to them.
Yeah, like they mostly just, they're either going to sit wherever they're going to sit for years on end, or they're in the system. They're just...
Exactly.
If it works and I get it, it's going to keep working.
Yeah. My PS2 games, like, or PlayStation 1 games, I still have some of those. Those are pretty scratched up because I was like 8, 9, 10, but not anymore. You know? And I think Blu-rays don't scratch as much as regular CDs, right? I think I read that somewhere. I don't know if that was
I don't know if that's, like, I can't verify the validity of that, but I have heard that.
I don't know if it's true. I don't want to try to scratch it just to prove it. Like,
no, I don't. Me neither.
Oh my god. 360, I used to play Skyrim and Mass Effect nonstop and Oblivion and Fallout 3. I never really played Oblivion or Skyrim. Like those are both part of old Elder Scrolls, right?
Yep.
I only played one of those Elder Scroll games, and I really wasn't into them, honestly.
Morrowind?
Like I don't even know which one it was. I think it was like on the PS2, maybe.
I don't think that was ever on the PS2. Maybe it was 4. Because Morrowind, I thought was an exclusive Xbox. I don't know about 4 or 5, to be honest.
It might have been on the Xbox. I don't even know. All I know is I was like a kid back then. I was like 10 or 12 or something like that. But I played one, I think. That was about it.
I only played
Is there a point in life when you say my collection is completed? I personally don't want anything else. My game's on the shelf. I don't even play them. I use flashcards now. My collection is pure nostalgia. No, I mean, when your collection is complete. I mean, for video games, not when you're still playing, I would feel like, you know? Because they're still coming out with new games every month. It'd be different if this was a hobby that, like, no longer was in existence, you know? Like was canceled. Like, the video game crashed in, like, the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, then it's like, oh, no, there's no more games. But this is it's bigger than ever nowadays, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, when it comes to retro stuff, like, I can relate to that. It's like, I pretty much have all, like, the NES games I want. I have pretty much all the Super Nintendo games I want, but, like, I don't know about, like, PS4 and, like, future stuff. There's definitely going to be stuff that are going to be, like, must-have that I just don't even know yet. But, like, I also get a lot more digital, so I don't have it, like, on the shelf the same way. Like, I have some physical, but just the convenience of digital games, I don't have to... Like, on one hand, if something happens, like I might not be able to play them one day, but if I lose my cartridge, I won't be able to play it one day either. It's kind of like weigh the pros and cons.
Wow, you really have to try hard to scratch a Blu-ray disc. They don't scratch easily. That's what I feel like, because I feel like my PS4, PS5 games like haven't really scratched like PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 games have, you know? I mean, maybe they really are just a little bit more durable and whatnot. I
Maybe.
miss games being on cartridges. That's why I like the Vita and the Switch. Even though they're really
Yeah, I like
tiny
cartridges.
cartridges, and it's so much easier to just pop it in, you know, but it's much easier to lose too, but
Yeah.
it takes up less space overall than a disc.
Get another
I
Dragon
remember
Quest, eh? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
uh,
off. But like,
I remember the funniest thing, speaking of like warranties and disc and all that, I rented a game from Blockbuster years ago when this was actually like a thing. I know the kids probably don't remember, but like
right.
I rented a game. I took it with me to my friend's house to play there, and like I wound up leaving back, going back home. I didn't bring the old case. I just like put the disc in my pocket. I was like 10, so I just put
Okay.
this in my pocket. Like I don't need the case.
Yeah.
And then heading home, I left his house. I bent over to tie my sneaker, and then it just cracked right in half because I forgot. I got up and I was like, "Dad, I broke the game we rented from Blockbuster," and he was like so
What?
mad.
I
I
bet.
was like, "Oh damn! Oh no, that was an accident." He had to go and I think he had like I don't know. I wasn't with him, but he had to like go to the store and like basically like paid him, I guess, the full price of the game.
Probably.
But never did that again in my life for
No.
sure.
I'm sure he screamed that at you.
Oh man, that's definitely. But never, I never broke. I don't think I've ever broken a game like outside of that, like a disc. Like you know,
Right.
that's nuts. Y'all are such gamers. I retired years ago. I don't really have that interest. But if I were to play, which game should I play? Oh,
Depends what you're
everything.
into.
Like, there's so many. This is honestly,
Yeah.
it's hard to recommend.
I mean,
You
you
got to
don't-
pick a genre and then start from there. You know.
Yeah. Well, you don't
You
even
know what
have
I
to
mean?
start like with new stuff. Like there's already like thousands of old games that are still good
You know
and
what I
can
mean?
be played.
You got to pick an old console or pick a genre or pick up an emulator or something like
Right.
that and just, you know, FPSs.
Yeah.
You can go through freaking Call of Duty and go through freaking Halo, go through Borderlands, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
you know, the possibilities are endless. You know, if you like sports, you could just play
Oh yeah.
NFL like every new one for like every year because it's like the same
Yeah.
old thing, like repeatedly. I can't do it. Before Netflix, you had to rent movies and then rented games.
Mhm.
Oh man. Oh, dude, renew it. I remember when you could rent a whole game console, and games to go with it. That's how old I do too. Before my parents bought me a PS2 growing up, they rented me a PS2. Like you were able to rent the console. It was more than renting a game, and you could only rent it for like a few days. We rented it for like 4 or 5 days or whatever, and I loved it. And then they wound up just like saying like, oh well, we might as well just buy it for you rather than renting it because you know. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And they bought me one. Like, and I was like, oh yes, freaking PS2. And then I was a freaking PS2 fiend for years. The best console ever made, highest selling console. Wait, is
I mean, it
PlayStation
was
2
for-
still the highest selling console ever?
It was
I
for a
think-
while. I don't know if it still is.
I don't know. I feel like it still is.
Take a gander. I want to say the Wii got like some crazy amount of. Or is it actually the Switch now? I don't
List
know.
of best. No,
Maybe
PlayStation 2.
It is.
PlayStation 2 is still slightly on top. Right below them is the Nintendo DS family. That's fair.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow, that's nuts. The DS is, I guess they mean DS, DSi, and
Right.
DS XL and DS Lite.
Right. Still.
That's well, if we only count home consoles, then technically it's the PS2, then the PS4, then the PlayStation 1
Good God.
for home consoles. According to Wikipedia, but you know.
I believe
Oh
it
yeah,
well
PlayStation
enough.
2, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 1, then Wii, then PlayStation 3 is the top 5. Wow,
Well, I mean, I guess
PlayStation
it-
is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's nuts.
I guess what I was thinking, how like, yeah, like Nintendo was like on top for the longest time, but fewer people were also even playing games.
Nintendo sold more for their handhelds, like
Oh, they dominated
the
the handheld market
the
forever.
DS, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance, and the 3DS. All were like crazy sales wise, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But home consoles, once PlayStation came out, PlayStation kind of took over home consoles, and Nintendo kind of dominated. I'm actually releasing a video soon about um, the PS Vita and handheld gaming and things of that nature.
Okay.
Make sure to check it out on the channel.
Yeah.
But hell, they Nintendo definitely dominates when it comes to handhelds more so than anything else.
Well, I remember
Thanks to the good old DS.
Microsoft was thinking about it, and then they're like, "No, we're just gonna get our ass kicked."
I heard about that. They was considering a foray into handheld gaming, and then just kind of like, well, no, Nintendo, and then even PlayStation had the PSP, so
Yeah.
you know they were like, you know,
I mean, even then,
PlayStation did good with the PlayStation Portable, the PSP.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah, they
great
did.
actually,
they did for sure.
but
I should have got one.
the
Looking
Vita,
back,
the Vita is so low. I love the Vita,
I
but
hear
it's
it's
so
good. It
less than.
just didn't make much of a splash for some reason. Not sure what that's about.
I don't know why. I mean, no, I mean that's kind of part of. I mean, I talk about that in my video, like the whole PS Vita situation, like why it didn't like do good as it should have, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah, it part of it is the they didn't what's it called, the memory cards. Those memory cards for the PS Vita. You ever seen the prices on those?
No, aren't they basically like SD cards, but you can't use SD cards? Is it like proprietary
They're
SD cards?
Yeah, it's their proprietary. Basically, I mean, hell, actually, I have one right here. Like,
All right.
it looks just like an SD card, but it's not one. So it's kind of nonsense in that way.
Yeah, Sony's a little like I heard with the PS5, like you either couldn't use an external hard drive or just recently you could. Like you can for PS4, I know, but I guess there was some issue with the 5. Oh yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, it looks just like an SD card, but it's a proprietary thing. You know, there's a PS Vita on it.
Yeah.
But these things are so expensive. I mean, the 64 gigabyte one is the biggest one. That can only hold what, maybe 10 to 12 games, maybe more, depending on how big they are. And it was like $80, $100 just for a 64 gigabyte. An SD card that's 64 gigabyte. Yeah.
Good.
A 64 gigabyte SD card is only like 30 or 20, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's much
Crazy.
cheaper.
Yeah, I see why people are like, well, fine then. Just not gonna play your system. It's nuts.
I have a 4 gigabyte one. I think it came with the Vita. I have a 16 gigabyte, and then the 16 gigabyte wasn't enough, so then I had to buy a 64 one, and then that one I still can only hold like not even all my games. So that's one of the biggest issues. People didn't want to spend $100 for an SD card, basically, and then still not able to hold all their games. I have like about 80, about 70 to 80 PS Vita games probably in total. Like most of them are all physical because so I don't have to hold like use my SD card. I mean like whatever they call it, the memory card as much. And that was basically their biggest thing. And besides that, they didn't release a lot of first party games. Like their biggest consoles, you know? Like I mean not consoles. I mean their biggest system sellers, like, you know, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Uncharted. What's the other one? I forgot what it's called. But they didn't release like games for the Vita from these series, so people just kind of said, "Oh no," you know, they needed more system sellers and first party titles. You know, that's a big problem when they don't do that stuff.
Oh yeah. Did they still use the like those like the UMDs or whatever they were called for the Vita? Like what do the games look like?
Oh no! The UMDs was for the PSP. Like those are like the little CDs,
the cartridge disc things.
They were like tiny CDs and everything like that. Oh man, that was weird. Universal Media Disc, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Yeah, Universal. Yeah, it was just like a tiny version of like a CD. It was weird. Like Sony always has some kind of like proprietary thing with their consoles. You know, like they remind me of Apple, and that's why I can't stand Apple. Like it's always like, oh, you have to use our specific thing that you have to like pay more for. It's designed a certain way, and it's just like, why can't they just be universal? Like more so.
Yeah, I don't know.
They even made movies like in that format and everything like too.
Yep.
But no, they don't. That was only for the PSP, I think. Nothing else.
Weird. Okay.
You know, and then for the Vita, they have the cartridges.
Okay.
Tiny little cartridges like that. And I'm just like, geez. I don't know. I only know like a handful of people with a Vita. Like when I walk around having it, people think it's like a phone. Like I used to go to the doctor's office and be on my Vita. They'd be like, I got your. Is that a phone? I'm like, no, it's a Vita. I only ran into one person out that recognized it like years ago. I was playing some game on my Vita, walking around the store because I was with somebody, and they was like, oh, is that a Vita? I was like, yeah, it is. You know, it was like instant connection. I'm like, you have one? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, like wow, like I know someone that has one. This is great. People always just like, I don't know what that is. But if you walked around with like a DS, something like that, it's instantly recognizable. Yeah. Like, oh, that's Nintendo, yeah. Handhelds, we know them for Nintendo, for handhelds, rather. One of the Call of Duty games takes up a full PS4 memory card partially because they added 4K support. What? Are you serious? That's kind of nuts, honestly. It takes up your whole hard drive? I don't know. I haven't played Call of Duty in like 9 years, so I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you.
I think it's too much.
I played
Modern Warfare 2.
Actually, I did play, I think, World War II. It was like a PS Plus game, I think. I actually did a stream of it. Like, World War II, I think. Played it with someone.
Call of Duty World War... Wait. Modern Warfare 2 or World...
I think it was just WW2.
Okay, there's so many.
But before that, in... Even still, like, on the PS3 days, like, even though I wasn't playing a lot of games then, one of my buddies had, like, Call of Duty Zombies, and I used to play it. And thank you, Alex Snow, by the way. I just realized this entire time I've been talking through my webcam mic and not this thing that's in front of me. So it's fixed.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I didn't even realize until I started tapping my webcam, and I'm like, oh.
That's why. Man, that'll do it. Al, I gotta make sure that mine is, like, set properly. Like, what the hell? I hate when that happens.
I think yours is good. It is on my end, at least.
I mean, hopefully so. It should be.
I'm just not used to it, because normally I stream with XSplit, but for the podcast and stuff, I use OBS, because it's easier to get everything I have up working through OBS rather than XSplit, so there's a bit of a learning curve for me, still.
Oh, yeah. You recently switched to, thing?
Just for the podcast using OBS. I should just make the jump back to OBS because, like, XSplit, you have to... It's like it's a paid subscription, but I like having...
I never used XSplit.
It's okay, but, like, if you get... like, if OBS works for you, there's not much point in getting XSplit. But I do like it in that, like, when I was having all kinds of stream issues, like, XSplit, my streams just tended to crash less. And if you have issues with XSplit, there's a live chat, so you can like actually chat an agent and be like, "This is screwing up. What do I do?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll just run these tests." So I like that side of it. Where with OBS, it's like, this isn't working. Either you figure it out or it's just gonna stay broken.
I don't know. I feel you. Having some support, like customer support, like on deck, is definitely useful if you run into problems a lot.
Yeah.
But hopefully not. But I've only used OBS and Streamlabs OBS really for streaming and things of that nature, and they worked pretty good so far.
Like, I mean, this is working.
The other stuff.
So long as my computer, or my updates or whatever are behaving, like I don't think this stream's really been cutting out so much like the last one. Like, I think it's been running pretty smoothly.
Yeah, last time. Oh, wait, did you fix something with the streaming that
all I did was update my computer, and now my internet works better.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Like, a PC update just changed my internet speed, like, now it's more steady.
Yeah, I don't get that, but that's what seems to have happened.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I swear they've used this name like 20 times, was 209 gigabytes, but they've since been able to shrink it to 175 gigabytes. That's a lot. 209? 200? That's like freaking 3 or 4 games or more.
Oh yeah,
That's like
huge.
more than Destiny. That's too much, especially with the original PS4 only came with like 500 gigabytes, right? I think like the original model.
If even that.
It was 500, but only like 420, I think, was usable or something.
Excuse me, something
nuts.
like that.
That's crazy. The PS5 only comes with 825, and out of the 825, ridiculous. I think 667. Only 667 is usable.
For a system that's going to have like 4K games at like 60 FPS, that's like a game. Like, what are they thinking? You got to start giving us some terabytes. If you're not going to let us use external hard drives.
At least, or 2. And it's a solid state drive, so it's much quicker with the games and whatnot. But it still takes a while, especially if you don't have really fast internet.
Right.
My internet speed is pretty good, and it still takes me like a while to download a game. I still got to sit there for like half an hour or an hour, depending on how long it is. Like big it is.
Oh yeah.
And that's just one game. And then you got to move it here, move it over to the other one. And I have an external hard drive where I keep my PS4 games at, and then the internal SSD where I keep the PS5 games. But it's just, then you got to swap it around. That takes time too. And I hate playing with storage. I'm gonna have to delete a game probably soon. Like once these games come out soon that I'm playing, like Ratchet and Clank and all that next month, I'm gonna delete something at this point.
The hoarder in me hates deleting games off my PS4. Like, I know I can just re-download them, but I can't stand it. Drives me crazy.
No, I feel you.
Like, it's such a struggle. I'll be like, oh, which game am I not going to play for years? Guess I'll delete this one. And now, like, because I did delete Nier Automata a while back, which annoys me because I have the disc, but, like, I'm going to be playing it again, so I'm going to have to re-download it. So it's like, damn it. I should have left that one.
Yeah, seriously. They need to make games smaller. Like, remember the Destiny, they started removing content to make the game smaller. And I was just like, yeah, they removed, like Destiny 2, they removed a whole bunch of, have you ever played it?
No, I've never played Destiny.
Like you can go to different planets like Mars, and you can travel in Venus and Earth and the moon and all this other stuff. And they just started straight up removing areas from the game because people weren't using it as much. And they wanted to make the game size smaller. So they were like, we're going to remove Mars and Mercury or Venus. I forgot which one it was. And I'm just like,
excuse us.
Oh, like what? How can you just remove stuff from the game? I mean, I want it smaller, but can't you do something else?
Yeah,
like you're removing a whole map.
Get better at game design instead of just removing
better optimization,
areas,
maybe.
Yeah, moving areas wholesale.
It comes down. Let's just cut content. I'm like, and some of this stuff probably was DLC content too. I'm like, you're taking away the DLC content that we paid for like a year ago. Like, it's nuts. But they were like, well, they're not using it much. Like they have, I guess, data for like what areas are getting like played in much. DS1 is fun. Destiny 1, I have like 1,000 hours or 2,000 hours clocked on it. I think I played Destiny 1 like freaking religiously. Like every day, I would have like a routine, and then like every week when it reset, we would like do the strike, the heroic strike or the legendary strike or whatever they call this. I forgot the names of it. Like every morning, I'd stay up like 4 or 5 in the morning, like doing this stuff.
Right.
It is nuts. It was like a freaking pattern. Like it was like a job, like just grinding for like that exotic weapon and doing this quest.
Oh, I hear you.
But it was fun to play with people.
Yeah,
it was fun. Like doing raids and stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, just doing it yourself is honestly, I just can't imagine doing it myself. It's freaking boring. But having someone to play with and talk to, it makes it much more fun and easier to do. Much easier.
Oh yeah.
Especially people that know what they're doing.
Alex Snow, what's OBS Ninja? Have you heard of that enigma?
OBS Ninja. No.
It's making me think it's like sponsored, like a Twitch streamer Ninja sponsored is what I think when I see it. Or maybe it's just
all I think about is that Ninja guy.
Unless it's like a low what's the word I'm looking for? Just like a low, like doesn't use as many resources. I have no idea.
Bring live video from your smartphone, remote computer, or friends directly into OBS or other studio software. Privacy and ultra low latency. Oh, that's
Oh,
cool. I think I heard the name before, but I didn't know what it was. But
yeah,
hell, if it's a part of OBS, I mean, well, the O is stand for open, so I guess
right.
someone tinkered around and made another version like Streamlabs OBS.
Yeah. I mean, it is cool that it's open source
Oh,
and
yeah,
free.
as long as it's safe, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I have no problem with it
right.
for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Oh man, you have a Renew. It says I got an 8 TB hard drive for my PS4.
Nice.
That's nuts. I,
That'll last you a good long while.
damn, that's enough for every no. I was gonna say that's enough for every PS4 game I have, but that's still probably not enough.
Some of them are pretty beefy, like 100 gigs there. Like Final Fantasy VII remake was pretty heavy.
Final Final Fantasy VII remake, Final Fantasy 15,
Yeah,
Division, Destiny, and then Destiny and Division 2. That right there is like freaking a terabyte. Just like those 5, 6 games or
right.
whatever. It's a lot. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII remake, Intergrade is out in less than a month now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's June 10th, I think.
Man, dude, it's freaking. I'm looking for. I already got the platinum trophy. Going back to like our platinum trophy conversation and trophies in general.
Right.
I kind of want to go play it on the PS5 to see how much faster it'll load, how if it'll look better, if it'll like the 60 FPS will play better. But I mean, already getting the platinum trophy, I kind of feel like there's nothing really to
Right.
do now.
I mean, like,
I've spent like a whole month doing that last year.
knowing Square, I'm sure it's gonna look really nice. But like,
I just
yeah,
want the
like,
DLC with Yuffie. I want to do that. I want to see how that's gonna look and play because
Yeah,
Yuffie's freaking cool.
yeah, that
Everyone
40
loves a
that
ninja.
45-minute long DLC will be. I
Oh,
keep
man.
joking about that. Like, I do want to play it, but
I really
I'm not
hope it's not
expecting it to-
45 minutes.
I think it, like, without being hyperbolic, I think it's like, I don't know, like 3-4 hours.
I'm sure it's gonna be like 4, something like that, like 5 maybe.
Yeah, like knock it out in the stream.
But no, for real. I'm still looking forward to it. I heard they
Yeah.
finally released a price for it recently. Like
Oh.
they gave us
much
the price
is
for
it?
it. I don't know if
20?
you saw.
If it's more than 20, get out of here.
I think someone told me that it is 19.99
Yeah,
USD. So
yeah.
I'm trying to find that like officially somewhere. But that's what someone told me about. I don't know where they read that at because I don't see the price myself. Like everywhere I look, it just says like, oh, it'll
Right.
be out June.
It really chaps my ass how it's only on PS5 because, like, I would get a PS5, but they don't exist at this moment. I'll have to wait until 2022.
That's wild.
I just didn't.
Okay, yeah,
I didn't
this
expect
website.
wanting one
Yeah,
for
it
that
says
for that express purpose. I'm sorry.
pre-order online local standard edition is 70. Really? It's not even a. Why is the standard edition 70? It's not even a That doesn't even include the Yuffie thing. Like it's just for Final Fantasy VII remake, but like the PS5 version. Like I thought only PS5 exclusive games were going to. Wait, are they saying it's an exclusive because it's like a remaster?
I don't know.
Like that's nuts.
I
Because
thought
it should
that-
be 60. Like
I thought anyone that had the PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII could upgrade, and it was like they weren't going to charge you for it. Is that true?
yeah, no, the PS4 version can upgrade for free if you pay for it. Like
Right.
if you have the PS Plus version, then you gotta pay.
Right.
But you bought the game though. You don't have the PS Plus version, right?
I bought it the first day. I was like
Then
waiting,
yeah, definitely. Then you
waiting
do.
midnight, being like, all right, playing it right now.
For users who download the free PS5 enhancement, the new episode, including featuring Yuffie, will be available as a separate purchase on the PlayStation Store for $19.99 starting June 10th. All right.
That's really
I thought
good.
it was gonna be like 30 or 40, but if
Yeah.
it's $19.99,
Yeah.
I'll probably bite the bullet and get it
Yeah,
because I want to play Final Fantasy VII remake on the PS5,
For
and
sure.
I already got the platinum, so there's nothing else to do.
yeah.
So I'll probably get it and just give it a whirl. Maybe I'll stream it or something. I don't know,
It's
but
definitely going
I'm
to
hoping
drive me
Yuffie's gonna be
crazy
fun.
having to wait to play that. Me being the Final Fantasy VII nut I am. It's like, I would, but
dude,
I physically can't. And I'm not paying
No,
a scalper
I feel you.
$1,000 to play it. I'm just not.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was on. They have that on Xbox also, right? Or was it PlayStation exclusive?
I don't know. I think it was just PlayStation exclusive, at least right now. There was supposed to be a. I thought they were gonna do like a PC version, but
wait, let me check.
I'm not sure.
Yes, it's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 only. Okay, all right.
It's a system seller for sure.
You know what? The biggest, like, I like that consoles have exclusives, but the biggest, like, wow, I can't believe that this game was no longer exclusive is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
When Part 3 was released, like, at first they released, like, what was that game? 358 over 2 days or something was on, like, a DS thing, and then there was another one for 3DS, like, 3 Drop Distance. But then, so I was like, oh, they're going to Nintendo for the spin-offs. Like, all right, that's weird. But then they released Part 3 on the Xbox, and I was just completely blown away, because I've known that for PS2. That's it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the spin-offs were on Nintendo, like the Game Boy Advance and DS and 3DS, you know, but that's the biggest, like, mind blower. Like,
yeah, I'm surprised what kind they let that happen.
What series you seen, like, change from being, like, exclusive to, like, multi-platform? That was, like, kind of different.
Like, I mean, a lot of... Like, I mean, that's a pretty good one, the Kingdom Hearts. I'm trying to think of something else. Because growing up, there was a lot of stuff that was, like, Nintendo exclusive, because it was Nintendo and Sega. Then, like, PlayStation came in the mix. And a lot of companies, like, jumped ship to like, PlayStation. But I'm under the impression that you can get stuff like... Maybe I'm wrong about this, but can't you get, like, either Crash Bandicoot or, like, Spyro on the Nintendo now?
Freaking, I believe one of them is available on, what's it called? Yeah, Crash Bandicoot has some games actually on Xbox. That was another surprise, you know, considering that they're
like, that was always like the Sony mascot to me. So to, like, see Crash, like, anywhere else, it's like, that's weird.
Yeah. Insane Trilogy, The Wrath of Cortex, Mind Over Mutant, I think were all available on an Xbox, like, console. That's nuts. I mean, I guess Sony doesn't own Crash Bandicoot. What developer is that? Naughty Dog?
Yes. I always get them and Insomniac mixed up, but yes.
Yeah, I guess they're not maybe they're not owned by PlayStation then?
I guess not, but they were just...
Wait, no, it says they are owned by PlayStation.
Well, then I don't know. Okay. I don't know then.
I guess they have some licensing where they can license it off to Xbox for, like, some cash. You know, money changes, like, freaking everything when it comes to, like, exclusivity and whatnot, you know? Like, you pay enough and we could put it on your platform too.
Yep.
But that was a big shocker. Crash Bandicoot, definitely that too. And Kingdom Hearts. The other ones is all Nintendo, like seeing, like, Final Fantasy on, like, PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time I was playing games, Final Fantasy was already on PlayStation 1. But I mean, for the people that played, like, the original first ones, it went from like Super Nintendo to, like, PlayStation. That's like a jump, you know?
Oh yeah. It's because you wouldn't have seen Square caught dead making something for Sega. But then PlayStation, they're like, buy Nintendo. Then I'm like, well, I need a PlayStation now. As a general rule, I kind of just follow Square around with my console purchases.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, Mass Effect was original Microsoft only. Same with Fable.
I do remember that with Fable.
No, yeah, Mass Effect. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's a good one, Kaboom. Mass Effect's another one. They released it. The Legacy Edition or Legendary Edition or whatever is on PS4. That was a Xbox exclusive, like, only 360 and whatnot. So I was, like, kind of taken aback too. Like, I'm glad. Andromeda was on PS4. I was like, hell, I'll play it on PS4 instead. You know?
Yeah, might as well.
That's another one right there.
You don't have any of the Xbox systems, do you?
I have Xbox. I've had all outside of this current one. I've had all the Xboxes. Oh. Right now, I only have the Xbox. I have the Xbox One S. I just don't use it though.
I see.
It doesn't have any exclusives. You know what I mean? Like Halo, but I don't play Halo anymore really, and Gears of War. But I played Xbox 360 like majority with people, and since I don't play games online, like almost at all anymore, I kind of don't play my Xbox because
Gotcha.
Xbox had Halo and Gears of War, which were the, like the online games to play, like you know what I
Right.
mean. All day I played that stuff. Kind of just stopped. I want FF7 remake on PC ASAP. Hey, yeah, man, I'm sure the PC is gonna get it. PC gets like
Oh, PC gets
9 out
everything.
of 10 games like, eventually. Only
Unless it's
Nintendo.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't get their games on PC, but Microsoft, of course, does because
Right.
Microsoft and stuff. And Sony, a lot of the times they wind up, doing
Yeah.
licensing with people. But Nintendo, they kind of just keep to themselves, I guess, and it seems to work for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that Square will have a change of heart and be like, yeah, here's the Yuffie DLC on PS4. Now we got people to scramble to get a PS5. Now we'll release it on PS4. There's no reason why it has to be PS5.
That's
If I have
nuts.
to wait, I'll wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to. I miss playing Xbox. Like really,
I played 360
that's
a
what
bit.
360 was. The 360 was the thing. I gave it to my nephew like a few years ago. Like when I got an Xbox One, I think I gave him my Xbox 360. I was like, "Here you go, happy birthday!" Like,
Yeah, why not?
because he didn't have any consoles, I think, or something. So I was like, "Yo, take this," and I gave him some of my games. I was like, "Have fun,"
Yeah.
so you can get another one, whatever one he decides to get. But yeah,
I forget.
Xbox 360 is one of the best.
Was the Xbox One, was that backwards compatible at all?
Yeah, the Xbox. That's the one good thing about Microsoft is that I believe all their consoles are backwards compatible. I think, right? I don't wait.
Yeah, because I knew you could play a good chunk of Xbox games on the 360, but I wasn't sure beyond that.
Yeah, I think they added backwards compatibility. At some point, they added it in, like the feature to like 90% of their games or something like that. They said, like,
Yeah.
That's the part I have. That's the problem I have with PlayStation and Nintendo. Nintendo
Right.
keeps changing up kind of like media that their consoles use, so they're never backwards
Right.
compatible.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
ever. It's like the Super Nintendo and then the GameCube. I mean, was it game? No, Nintendo 64.
64, yep.
And then GameCube, you couldn't put that because there's a whole different media again. And then after GameCube was Wii, once again they went to a whole different kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
And then it was like Wii U, and I'm just like,
I mean, I assume
constantly.
actually you could play GameCube games on the Wii.
You could. I never had a.
Wait, you could at least use GameCube controllers on the Wii.
I knew it was that much, but I had a Wii, but it was only for like a few months, and I only played like 1 or 2 games on it, and that was it.
We had some good games on it, but I just didn't. I wasn't playing a lot of games then. I played. I played Super Paper Mario on it. I played Mario Galaxy. Was good. A handful of games. A little bit of Smash Brothers, but that was next to Ultimate. It was the Smash Brothers I played the least. That cracks me up. Nier Automata on the PC, 85 FPS for gameplay, 29.9 FPS on videos. It'd be like a slideshow seeing those side by side. Yeah, Wii does play original GameCube games.
Oh, I think it does. It had like a slot for, or were the Wii games? But the GameCube, that was when they had like those small CDs. I remember
Yeah, like
that
the
were
mini
like
discs or whatever.
And then the Wii had regular size disc, or did it have small ones too?
Regular size.
But it fit the small ones too, I guess.
I guess
okay.
So. I couldn't remember.
Okay. I never.
That's the only time that I've ever done it.
I had a Wii. I never played like GameCube games on it.
Yeah. Like I had a GameCube anyway, so it didn't really matter. GameCube with the Game Boy player. So I could play Game Boy Advance and stuff on it, on the TV.
I think it was like a piece you could connect to it, right?
Yeah, you had to hook it into the bottom, and you also needed the Game Boy player disc. So if you lose that, you're out of luck. It just won't work.
I remember playing Pokemon Stadium, and you could like connect like Pokemon games into it. I had like Pokemon Yellow. I think I plugged it into like my GameCube or something
Yeah,
like that
it
when I
was
was playing
like
Pokemon Stadium. It was like,
I
freaking
forget
cool.
what even did. I want to say the e-reader, but I think that was a different thing.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's
there's
nuts,
definitely a way to hook Game Boy
man. Backwards
games up to it.
compatibility.
Oh, it's key. It's the way to do it.
Backwards compatibility is important. Like
Oh
seriously,
yeah.
like it's keeping
Well, it
history.
gives people
You
a
know what I mean?
reason to be like, well, I'm going to trade away this old system and get the new one, the new
That too.
games.
As long as you can play your old ones and you get rid of this console, you just keep the games.
Right. When Sony did it, it was like genius at the time. It's like, oh,
Oh,
you can
with
just play your
PlayStation 2.
PS1 games. Because Nintendo, you could never do
Yeah.
that. At least till the Wii.
No, that's part of the reason the PS2 was the highest selling console ever is because of backwards compatibility. I was playing PlayStation 1 games on my PS2. That's one thing I did because I still had a whole bunch of PlayStation 1
Yeah.
games. You know?
And my PS1 was
But
a
then
piece of crap, so like I couldn't wait to play PS1 games on the PS2.
the PlayStation 1 was good times,
Oh, I
man.
love
I
the
just
PS1. My system was just
love the PS2.
had a rough go over. Like ball bearings
Oh,
came
damn.
out of the spindle thing in the middle, and it's a nightmare.
I remember my brothers had a PlayStation 1 before I did, and because they were older, and they had their own. Theirs wound up breaking. I don't remember how or why. I think it overheated or something. It stopped working, and I don't think they ever bought a new one. I don't know why they never replaced it.
Right.
So they kind of just like my parents wound up buying me one, and then they wound up giving me like their PlayStation 1 games instead. Like I guess my parents made them. I don't know, whatever. But I was like, okay, cool. So I had like more PlayStation 1. Like when I got a PlayStation 1, I had like their games, like a lot of their games too, that they didn't like get rid of or whatever.
Right.
I was like, all right, cool, I'll take it. But yeah, the PlayStation, I hate consoles. Like, that's why the PS4 always made me kind of iffy because it overheats a lot. It makes too much noise. I always feel like it's going to freaking blow up or something. Sounds like a freaking jet engine.
Oh man, did you ever have a Dreamcast?
Hell yeah.
Those were the loudest systems.
I
I've
really
ever
don't.
owned.
Were they? I don't remember mine being loud. But I
Mine was when you said jet engine. It was like a vacuum cleaner. Like it was the loudest system
man.
I ever had, or at least that I ever noticed. My PS4 is a lot further away from me because it's wireless, so maybe that's why I don't notice it so much. But Dreamcast, oh my god, it was so loud.
I don't even remember the Dreamcast being loud. I didn't play it much. I played it a lot, but I didn't play a lot of games. Like I played Sonic Adventure 1 and like heavily, but that was about it. Like that's all it had. Like it didn't have a lot of games. It just had two of the best. It had two of my favorite games of all time.
Well, like I played.
And Jet Grind.
And what? I'm sorry.
Jet Grind Radio.
Oh yeah.
You played it?
No, but I've heard about it. I've heard that's good.
You got to skate around like skiing stuff. That was fun.
I don't know why I never played.
That was. They didn't make more games like that. That's really out of the box. Like what? Before that, what game was it? Like you was on skates, skating around, and you had to like tag other people's like freaking walls and tag the freaking shirts and like, you know what I mean? It was creative, especially for its time, like 01 or whatever when it released.
Yep.
They only had racing games, but that was a whole different like level of it. But no, the Sega Dreamcast just needed more. I don't know. It needed more like exclusives or more like high quality games. It had a few really good ones. It kind of felt like it.
Right.
And
it was really easy to pirate games on it, which didn't do them any favors.
Yeah, that was one of the first consoles that like really had like internet connection, right? Like to go online stuff.
That too. That was my first online internet experiences with Shenmue.
I never used like the internet actual like portion of the Sega Dreamcast or like play it. My first one was probably the Xbox 360 because the PS2, Xbox, and Sega Dreamcast, we didn't really have like high speed internet and all that stuff at that point. I think anyway.
No,
like, well, 360
it was
though,
wretchedly slow.
Definitely. Oh man, like 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
And dial up still or whatever, Oh, I hated that.
Did it though, because it was like I didn't know any better.
Oh no, definitely. If that's all, I mean, at that point, it's all you had. Like,
Yeah.
no one really had like freaking great high speed
But
internet and all that stuff.
I played a
You know,
fair bit of Soul Calibur on the original Dreamcast. I played a lot of that with my brother. And Skies of Arcadia was a good RPG. Grandia 2 was good. But that was about all
guys
I played. And Shenmue.
on the Dreamcast, I never played any of those, but their names are very familiar though.
Skies of Arcadia
I
is
heard
great.
Shenmue. I
You need to
heard
play it again.
Shenmue was pretty. Like they released, didn't they re-release it like a remaster
Yep,
version
you can
recently or
get
something?
Shenmue 1 and 2 on the PlayStation now. It's like the voice acting is awful, but that's why I love it so much. It's like B movie like kung fu voice acting, but oh my god, it's hilarious. It's not for everybody, Shenmue. It's kind of like a you love it or you hate it type of thing.
I heard it was pretty outdated. Like once for remasters, they said
It was,
it just.
but
I'm
like to
like,
play it back in like 2000, it was just groundbreaking at the time.
no, yeah, that's the problem for some of these games. Like at the time they were like, but then when you like, they don't stand the test of time. I guess you know what I
Right,
mean. They don't hold up. They just don't hold up to
right.
like current standards and whatnot.
Skies of
That's
Arcadia
nuts.
only came out on Dreamcast. They had a GameCube version too, but that's another game that needs a re-release. It was really good. Skies of Arcadia.
Guys of Arcadia.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
like
played it.
you you're basically like I would say sky pirate, but there's no like water. It's like there's only sky and there's like islands floating around and stuff. But there'd be like hidden things out in the open world that you could discover, and if you did, you could like get money for it and stuff and raise your rank. It's just RPG
Mm.
stuff. It was good. It was a good game. It's kind of getting forgotten in time though, but it should make a comeback. At least re-release that one, since it was just kind of like a one-off.
Oh dang.
The
Kaboom
only,
says most Sonic games don't hold up. Really? You think so? I mean, like which ones in particular? Because Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, I'd still go back and play those like right now. Like I will. I freaking love them, especially part one. The I understand people say the voice acting was like but outside of that, I think it was freaking beautiful. I actually have Sonic Adventure 1 on Steam. I think like I might go freaking stream that. Honestly, it's
yeah,
nostalgic.
go for it.
Just hope my PC can actually handle like freaking like
Well,
having a game on Steam and freaking having a game streaming too.
maybe.
I don't even know.
I would think so. You have a decent computer. You
I
might be
hope. I mean,
surprised.
I'm gonna check.
On my
Dreamcast
old,
Tennis is still the best tennis ever made. That's
never
wild.
played it.
I never played like any tennis game. I think honestly.
On
I
my old,
mean,
I played Mario Tennis. I didn't play a lot of tennis. Yeah, like on
Mario.
my old piece of crap computer, I was able to stream GameCube games, or at least Eternal Darkness. So I could imagine you could do like something on Steam, but
Oh man, maybe. I mean, I'm gonna definitely test it out to
worth
see
a
how it
try.
holds up. No, there's no like lag or anything like that. It's cool.
Right,
But yeah, I figured out how to use my PS5 controller with Steam too.
nice.
And I didn't think it was gonna work, but I tried it. I was like, oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Steam's pretty
I
good
like.
about controller.
I never really used Steam much.
Stuff.
Honestly, I've only played like a couple games on there. But as long as PS4 game console, I mean, as long as the PS4 controller or the PS5 controller works on it, I'm good because these are my favorite like controllers ever.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Oh,
adjusting the PS5.
PlayStation controllers are great.
Hell yeah. I think. Remember the GameCube? No, which one was it? No, it's LC4. LC4 had the weirdest controller. Like as a kid, I'm like,
Yeah.
hell, you had to hold it like so freaking awkwardly.
Nintendo always likes being experimental with their controllers. Like they went from NES to Super Nintendo, which is probably like the best jump. And then the 64, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but NES and Super Nintendo had a relatively same controller format, right?
Well, the
compared to,
Super Nintendo is basically a PlayStation controller, but with 2 less shoulder buttons and without grips.
and then I never had the regular Nintendo. I
Regular
don't think I
Nintendo
ever.
is just like a rectangle that had a control pad, start, select, BA. That
Oh
was it.
yeah, they were kind of similar, but like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo were kind of similar controller wise, but like GameCube or Nintendo 64, it was just like they just freaking like
Crazy
went.
monster of a controller.
I was like, what the hell? You put them next to each other, and they're just like,
Yeah.
are we related? Like freaking, what the hell is this?
I didn't
It's like
mind
the
the.
thing. Why did it have like? It's like a fork. Like it
Yeah.
had like 3 prongs or something, like a
Yeah.
freaking
I don't
pitchfork or
have
something.
3 hands, Nintendo. What are you doing?
You have to like hold of one hand, like hold the center, and then like
Yeah.
press buttons like freaking around. Like it's just weird. And then they had the Z button on like the back of the center
Uh-huh.
one. It's
Right.
just weird.
You couldn't
I'm
use
like,
the L and the Z button really at the same
yeah, because
time.
the way
Like the way the
like
controller was built.
freaking awkward. And for little kids especially, I'm like, what the hell were they thinking?
Yeah. I don't
Gotta
know.
get like 2 people and grab onto it from both sides and play it like that. But GameCube, they went back on a made more sense that way.
Yeah.
You know, not hurting people's hands and struggling.
I thought it was a fairly comfortable controller. The button layout was a little weird, but I hate how small the
Yeah.
D-pad is, though, on the GameCube controller. It's way too small.
GameCube controller was kind of weird, but it wasn't like the controller's format. Yeah, because it had the analog stick with like the ridges, and then it had the directional pad like to diagonal, and then like on the other side it had like the face buttons, and they were all like different sizes and shapes and
Yeah.
stuff, and then the C stick,
Right.
and I was like, what the hell, like it was just weird. Nintendo has gotten kind of they've been the most out there and like least sticking to like a format when it comes to their consoles,
Yeah.
their media format,
Well, they're
their
experimental,
controller
if nothing else.
cards. Like the GameCube, the GameCube was the only one that had a memory card, right?
I
Yeah,
think so. Well, they had memory cards on the 64, but it wasn't overly common.
yeah. Like the other, like because the Switch, it's saved on.
Yeah, because I think Wii U, and Switch all has, like, native...
Yeah, they have internal
Saving.
space, right?
Yeah.
And the
think so.
GameCube had a memory card. Yeah, you have. Yeah, that sucked. You couldn't even like use an external hard drive on them, can you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Because I'm like, I remember like good old GameCube days. Like, you had to get a memory card that ran out of space, have to delete it, have to go buy a second memory card, a
Right.
second slot, more space. Oh man!
If you
days
didn't
of
have 2 memory cards growing up back then, like, what were you doing?
you did not play, especially when you rent games.
Oh, yeah.
So you was constantly playing a game like every other week. You was playing a new game or whatever.
I'd be like, well, I might buy this game eventually, so I'm going to keep this save. I can't tell you how great it was when I first got a PlayStation, like, renting a game and then buying the game and being able to continue my file. That was amazing. Because, like, before, it's like, oh, I like this game. Then you get a new, like, your own copy, but you have to start over. It wasn't until PlayStation with the memory cards.
Oh yeah, what the GameCube you said?
No, like with the NES and Super Nintendo. Well, it would work for GameCube, but like for growing up with the NES and Super Nintendo, like if you rented a game and you liked it, and then you got your own copy, you'd have to start the game over from scratch because it's like the own cart. But then I got a PlayStation and had the memory card because I vividly remember the first game that I had rented then bought was Final Fantasy Tactics. And so I had like a file already, and then I actually bought my own copy of it and could actually continue my file rather than starting over from scratch.
That was
It's
a
like
game
the
changer.
future is here.
Finally, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hell, I remember playing Mega Man X and like 1 and 2 and all that on the Super Nintendo. It was the whole password. Like the whole password system. Like it was like a freaking 4x4 thing of like numbers or whatever, and you had to like write it. I would have to like, my handwriting is horrible and always has been.
Right.
So I'd have to ask my mother, like, Mom, can you like get out the notebook and write this down and stuff? And then I'd have to make sure I had that. So when I started playing again the next day and I get on, I had to be like, all right, like 5692814208686. I'm like,
God help you if you transpose 2 numbers.
You know what I mean? It's nuts.
Yeah.
PlayStation much better. PlayStation, GameCube, they made it a lot. Hell, for 64, wasn't the data saved on the game itself or whatever?
Usually. There was memory cards, but I forget what exactly they were for. Like, I think like the wrestling games, you could save your creator wrestlers onto the memory card, but like usually you would save your games directly on the system. Like it wouldn't even let you use the memory card or on the game.
It was the N64 was like the first console I had that had like expansions or whatever. Like you could like there was like the Rumble pack or there was like memory pack, and you'd have to like switch them out and whatnot.
Yeah, the expansion pack.
It was like a memory. Oh man, Donkey Kong 64 was like one of the first games I think you needed to have it. Yep. Like the game wouldn't function without it.
It was the first one. It came bundled with it.
Yeah, that was nuts. The memory one or the Rumble one?
The memory. Star Fox 64 came with the Rumble pack.
Oh, damn. Star Fox 64 is freaking class. They need to make
that game was great. I played that so much.
That's like top 3. Actually, that's on my freaking top 10 N64 games is on my channel. Check it out. That is a top 3 N64 game. It redefined like rail shooters.
Oh yeah,
actually, that's like rail shooter I like play. Honestly,
I had the strategy guide for it. I played that so many times. I've done a stream of it on my channel.
Oh, dude, I was about to do that honestly too. Like, because there was different routes you can take, and it was just like I was if I do this instead, I could go that way, and I can fight that boss, and it's just like
a lot of replayability.
Exactly, because there's like 15 stages, but you can like do this route or that route and this route. It's like. But you wind up still starting from the same level, starting and ending the same level, but all the ones in between you can mix it up, and I really liked that feature.
The game was great.
Really getting to pick and choose. That made it all the more better.
I liked it way more than the Super Nintendo one.
Oh no, yeah. I think I played that one too, but it was graphically it was
64 is just Star Fox 64 was superior.
And I think it was hard.
I believe.
I wish they would make a new one, like in that same kind of style. Like
it's been a while.
They made the last one they made like that. I feel like they had it on the GameCube. They had a Dinosaur Planet, but that was like so different. But then they had another one, Star Fox Assault. One.
I'm pretty sure they had one that they made on Wii U, and they had Platinum Games make it. I'm pretty sure it's just like a reboot of either 64 or the Super Nintendo one. I forget. I guess it wasn't as good as it should have been.
There's Star Fox Zero, and they had Star Fox. Yeah, that was for the Wii U. I never played it though. I don't even know what it's about. Like, I only had the Wii U for a very brief amount of time.
Okay.
Like, I remember my mother years ago. My mother was like, "Oh, I want a game console. I'm bored," and I was like, "All right." I mean, like the family, I guess. So I was like, "All right, get like a Wii U, basically." And found a Wii U, got it, and it was like in the living room, so anybody could play it. You know, the whole family could play it. We had like Mario Racing and stuff. And then she wound up selling it, and I was just like, "What?" I'm like, weren't we all using it? Like, weren't we sharing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, "What happened?" I didn't even get to like play all the games I wanted for it. It was like gone. That was a few years ago, but man, that thing was. I didn't get to play all the games they had. I played Pikmin 3.
It's the only Nintendo system I didn't buy, the Wii U. I have the rest of them. The consoles anyway.
Yes, it's a very good game. Hell yes.
Legend of Dragoon. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man. That's a classic. That's a top 20 PS1 game of all time, probably.
Yeah, it's up there.
You know, like. It didn't get enough credit, I feel like, because Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 all released on the PS1 also, and that kind of outshined it or overshadowed it.
It came
because
out
they were
really
JRPGs.
In the life cycle, too. They touted it as the Final Fantasy killer when it came out, though.
It didn't kill Final Fantasy, but definitely...
It was good. It was definitely really good.
I don't know if I ever finished it, but I got very far. It was like 3 discs or 4.
4 discs.
Freaking long, like 9.
Oh, yeah.
9 was 4.
Yep.
I totally missed N64, and now I have most great games for it, but I never played them. I wonder if it's an age thing. That's possible. I mean, it's also going back to play N64 games now. I mean, I had an N64 like 20 years ago. I've gotten so adjusted to new stuff. It's like it's a quality of life thing. A lot of times
Right.
controls sucked or the camera angles. A lot of those games, the camera angles just really sucked and would get you killed.
Yes.
Remember Super Mario 64?
Oh my god.
I can't stand the camera. I hated that.
It was a bit of a culture shock when I played through Mario 64 again.
Oh man,
But
it looked better on, but the camera, I hated the camera.
But like, man, playing Mario 64 like back in '96 when it came out, oh my god, that was unbelievable back then. Going from Super Nintendo to N64. Like, it was a rough camera for sure, but like that from 2D to 3D and that being like your first 3D game, that kind of jump is hard to replicate.
Yo, that might have been my first. Yo, I don't remember if it was Mario or hell. My first 3D game might have been freaking Super Mario 64 also. Now that I think about it, it's either Mario or Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, it's probably Mario.
Banjo-Kazooie, so I love that game.
Oh man, Legend of Dragoon, the Final Fantasy killer that only had one game.
Right.
They
were going to make a second one, but then they just didn't for some reason. It got
also really bad Japanese version because they tried to make you have the PSP. Otherwise, your experience gold and inventory was halved.
It's the Pocket Station, isn't it?
Pocket Station Portable?
Yeah, like that memory card-like thing that never came out here.
Oh, man, I don't even know. They get a lot of exclusive stuff.
Yeah, and then in like the version of Final Fantasy VIII we got, it had like Pocket Station stuff that we just was still in the game, but you just couldn't get it because we didn't get the Pocket Station. I don't think it was anything like crazy, but
yeah,
like you couldn't get like the Phoenix Summon or like something else. Like it was good, but
the encounter rate
beatable without it.
And you encounter mad enemies in Legend of Dragoon, from what I remember, like all the freaking time. I can't stand that crap sometimes.
I like random battles, not too many random battles. It's got to be a balance.
Yeah, like Bravely Default is nice because you actually had the option of like, I think you could, like turn them off completely, like if you wanted to.
Because if you get to a boss and if you can beat it without grinding, then like fine.
You know,
but if you can't beat a boss, it's like okay, I'll actually fight stuff.
Bravely Default, I got the first one I got level like 99. Like I legit sat here and like figured out a way to grind like experience real quick, using like the game mechanics to my favor.
Okay.
And I got 99, and I just went straight to find a boss and like freaking destroyed it. I was like, I just turned the speed up or to make it quicker. Very freaking useful. I like when they add features to let you change things a little bit around rather than having it being just stuck one way. Because there's so many different kind of people, like video gamers.
Nowadays, it's like at first I was like hesitant about speed up options, but it's like no, just put them in. If I want to use them, I'll use them. And usually I'm like, I do want to use this.
What, this like speed up?
Speed up, or like turn the encounters down or turn them up depending on what I'm wanting to do and what mood I'm in.
Some people don't have the time, especially when you can't save whenever you want. I mean, remember, PlayStation 1 was all about the freaking, you could only save at these specific locations, like Resident Evil.
Right.
That's like, only save at a typewriter. Or certain JRPGs, you can only save at like the save spot, like Final Fantasy and Legend of Dragoon.
It's one thing when you gotta fight about...
That was freaking irritating.
I forget if it's the case with Saga Frontier 2, but Saga Frontier 1, you could save wherever you wanted.
Oh, I still got to get the remaster of Saga Frontier 1. Oh, damn, that's the other game I forgot I have to get. Like, it's too many games this year. This is good. Very, very good.
Oh, yeah. But, like, Saga Frontier Remaster, it has speed up. You can speed up the battles. You get, like, new gameplay. It's way faster than if you were to play it on PlayStation 1.
Nice. I think I might actually get it, So I got to finish another game first.
Right.
I'm playing Super Mario Galaxy, like, the triple... on the Switch. I beat Super Mario 64 and Sunshine like the same day, like because I had been playing them both alternating.
Gotcha.
So I got to like the last boss on like both, and I just like went, okay, let me finish. Okay, finish, and then I jumped into Galaxy because I never played Galaxy before. Like
I like
growing
Galaxy.
up, I never played or whatever really. So I heard Galaxy is one of the best in the Mario.
It's good
franchise, And so far, I might be like halfway done getting through it, I think, or something like that. And I kind of like it. It's good.
I have
When I finish that game.
I have Galaxy 2 that I haven't tried, but like I have it for the Wii. I intend to play that this year sometime. I hear that one's even better than Galaxy.
Really?
I never played it. I just bought it.
But hell, if it is, wait, they don't have that available on the Switch, do they?
It should have been the 3D All Stars collection, but you know Nintendo.
Yeah, it would have been nice if it was. That would have made it even more worth it, because
Right.
you know what I mean. Because 64 and Sunshine are very easily accessible through emulators. You know what I mean. But Galaxy is a little bit harder to get your hands on because it's a Wii game. I feel like.
Right.
And I never played it, so I mostly got I mostly got it for Galaxy. You know, like honestly.
Yeah.
And it's good. So
it was good.
I definitely see why. You have a Wii U still.
No, it's just for regular
2, right?
Wii. But I do still have my regular Wii.
Galaxy 2 is for the regular Wii?
Yep.
Wait, no, I thought I was... Wow. I thought it was... Oh. Oh, okay. It's available on the Wii U also, it says, but it did not on the Wii. All right, I guess it's playable on the Wii U, but it released on the Wii.
Yep.
Yeah. Considered an improvement over the first one. Wow.
That's what I've heard.
Considered to be one of the best games of all time and one of the best-selling games on the Wii.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And considered high difficulty in comparison to its predecessor.
I've heard that,
All right. Hell, Mario games always freaking seem to have... Freaking Super Mario 64 is like freaking... Oh, man. No, Super Mario Sunshine, I feel like going back and playing it, I don't remember it being that hard.
Me neither.
I really didn't remember it being
I
that
need to play it again. But I've heard that, too. Like, well, some of the shines, it's like, okay, you need a walkthrough or you're not finding this one.
Yes. Only some... The thing about that is some of them were just a little too nuts. And it was different from Super Mario 64. In 64, you only needed to get like 70 stars. It doesn't matter which ones you got, really. In Sunshine, it's different because you have to get... To beat the game, I forgot. I had to look it up because I was like, how many do I need? I was just getting them. And then it was like, you have to beat the 7th level of each like area to actually fight Bowser.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Because like the seventh star for each area was like chase Shadow Bowser or whatever. That was Bowser Jr. You like do that. I was like, then you could beat the game. I was like, all right. So you wind up having to need at least like 49 because that's 7 times 7 stages or whatever. It's 49 stars or sprites or whatever they call it.
Right.
But yeah. No, I'm looking forward to finishing Galaxy.
Yeah.
And seeing
I had
like more about
Galaxy.
Definitely. If they release 2 somehow on the Switch, maybe I'll get it.
I don't know why they didn't. It boggles my mind.
I don't have a Wii or Wii U at the moment to play it. Otherwise, oh wow! Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 had cheats like 3 times speed and no random battles.
Yep.
You mean on PC? You mean right? Because not PlayStation.
PS4.
The PS4 version.
Yep.
Okay, I never played the PS4 version. I only played it on the PS1 and the Vita, and it didn't have that.
Yeah, definitely not then.
Galaxy 2 was originally going to be a DLC for 1, but they had so many ideas it became its own game. Wow. Okay, I didn't know about that. Cool. That's how some games start off, I guess, though. Just going to be DLC, but then they just make a sequel.
They just get carried away. It's like, oh, we'll just make it a full thing.
That's kind of, I guess, the choice you have to make when it comes to DLC and sequels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it goes, though, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking, I'm looking forward to playing. Hopefully, I'll be able to play part 2 at some point.
I'm surprised I had the foresight to actually grab part 2 when I did. Yeah, and Punch Out for the Wii was also really good. I'm seeing it there now. I'm a big Punch Out fanatic.
I never... Punch Out? Mike Tyson's Punch Out or something?
Yeah, there was one for the Wii.
Never played it. I just hear it's like one of the hardest games ever.
It is. But the one for the Wii is really good and not as hard. There's certain stuff about that is pretty hard, but Mike Tyson is like legendarily difficult. I did beat him, well, Mr. Dream, who's basically Mike Tyson, on the Switch, but like the thing is with the Switch, if you play it docked, there's a delay. And Mike Tyson is so fast that you have to guess some of the like guess when he's gonna swing, because if you wait for him to actually swing, he's gonna hit you. So you have to like undock it so it's not like there's no TV lag.
Really? I did not know that. I've only used it on the I've only played with it docked when I didn't like when I had to return send my I had to send my Joy-Con in the first time to get repaired. I was in the middle of playing Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
So I had to play it docked then for like a little while. But
most games it doesn't matter, but Mike Tyson's Punch Out, it matters.
Man, that's freaking crazy. I don't know if I have it in me to play that damn game. As much as I've heard it's so damn annoying, it's not even funny. You know what I mean?
I mean, you start playing it, and once you understand how Punch Out expects you to play it, like the first half of the game's not too bad, but then you get to around like the major circuit, and then you're just gonna start getting your ass kicked. And then you get to Mike Tyson, it's just you die and you die and you die and you die and you die.
That's freaking crazy. I don't even understand. Like games like that, I feel like are just like freaking just meant to like freaking irritate you and be like
back then it's like we're gonna make our game, since we can't make our games long, we're gonna make them extremely difficult.
Yeah. Seriously, I can't imagine. Like, it's nuts.
But it's like you didn't know any better at whatever. I still like Super Punch Out more than Punch Out.
That's true.
It's a good.
I mean,
good
the games weren't really that long.
Like Super Punch Out is hard, but not as hard as Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It's a happy medium, I think. That's a trilogy they should release. Punch Out trilogy.
A trilogy? There's 3 of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Super Punch Out for the Super Nintendo, and the one on the Wii.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know there was 3. I thought there was just like 1 or 2. That's pretty freaking
3. Love them.
Right.
They're good.
I never played like freaking any. Like the first one was it regular Nintendo or Super Nintendo?
Regular Nintendo. Then Super Punch Out was on Super Nintendo. That's the one I played the most.
Regular Nintendo was a little bit before me. Right. I just had the Super Nintendo.
Gotcha.
Oh man, holy crap! It's freaking, dude. It's been freaking 2 hours. Like what?
I guess so. Time flies.
Oh, that's freaking nuts. No, I just looked at the thing. It's like started streaming 2 hours ago. I'm like, for real? Like scrolled up in the chat. I'm like, oh yes, it has actually. Yeah. Oh, it'd be like that sometimes.
I mean, yeah, get nerding out.
When video games are the topic.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man.
You're not streaming tonight or anything, are you?
No. Streaming? No. I'm actually just about to go eat.
Okay.
Freaking hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get something to eat here
tomorrow
long myself.
Tomorrow I'll be freaking streaming, continuing Devil May Cry 5. That's what I've been streaming. Special edition. Right. I'm just doing the Virgil playthrough because that's really why I got the game.
Right.
You know, to play Virgil. I've been streaming that, which isn't too long, so I'll be finished with it soon. And then I'll pick a new game. Right. I'm still undecided which one yet.
And for those of you that are new here, this isn't like Enigma's channel. It's kind of like a collaboration channel. So tell them where they can find you.
True indeed. Freaking Enigmatic Entertainment and Enigma's Nerd Talk. Check out both channels on Enigmatic Entertainment. I'll be streaming on there on Enigma's Nerd Talk. I'm talking about anime typically, or hey, whatever else comes to mind. Hell, this is Nerd Talk even.
Right.
It's just what we do. And on Twitch, same name. Everywhere else, same name. Enigmatic Entertainment, basically everywhere. Twitch, Twitter. Check it all out.
Yeah.
I stream a few days a week.
I know.
You gotta catch it.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna try to do like my hour of Shining Force 2. That's what I'm thinking. And Sunday I'm gonna keep doing my Nier Replicant playthrough.
Oh yeah, you've been streaming Nier Replicant. How is it? I didn't. I'm gonna get it a little later.
Definitely wait for it to go on sale, but like I'm really enjoying it. I haven't gotten to the I haven't gotten to the really crazy good stuff yet. I'm enjoying my time with it. the grinding got a little under my skin the last stream, but I've gotten most of that done now, and then I'm gonna start doing, some more of the heavy like plot related stuff, and that's when things are gonna get serious.
Well, I'm definitely gonna wait since I just got like some other games
Yeah,
recently that I have to get through.
like
I'm almost positive I'm gonna wait for a sale.
yeah.
I'm
Oh
gonna get
yeah.
Near Replicant and Near Automata since I only played the demo of Near Automata and it
Oh
was
man.
it was cool. So I'm gonna just get both when they're on sale and then just probably play them back to back since
I would recommend it. I'm gonna play Automata again because like it's like they're all connected, and I know that like even just looking back at certain parts, I was like, oh, these parts are connected. So to like actually like see it again, like I think I need to, like I think I'll get more out of Automata that way. I'll just play it on a harder difficulty because then I can justify playing it a second time. Because otherwise, I'm repeating myself. So I'll play it on hard mode.
yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna wait for I get them both after I finish all these games.
Yeah.
That'll be like on my next to do list. Like,
But I was like, oh, $80 Canadian. I'm like, you're lucky, Nier. I like you this much.
yo, it'd be like that sometimes. I'm not looking forward to spending $70 on a game now for like a standard edition. What's
Yeah.
the deluxe gonna be? 90 now or something?
Right.
It's freaking
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
80, 90, like 100.
Oh, we'll get there.
Ratchet and Clank. Well, luckily there's not many PS5 exclusives. Like if it's PS5 and PS4, it's still 60. So, except for Final Fantasy Intergrade for some reason, I don't know why they're able to do that, but
I don't know.
why the PlayStation, right?
They just are.
Man, that's nuts. But still, Ratchet and Clank I think is the only one that's a PS5 exclusive. So the rest of them are PS4 too. I'm just gonna get the PS5 version if it has one, like Tales of Arise.
Right.
It's supposed to be later this year. And Judgment. Oh crap! Never mentioned Judgment.
Oh, is that the Yakuza?
Yeah, that's the one that's from the same developers. It's like takes place in the same place. It's like
Yeah.
a different character though.
I need to play those.
Very
I hear
similar.
Like a Dragon was really good, like the turn-based RPG one.
I didn't play Like a Dragon yet. I'm waiting for that one to be on sale. I'm gonna play it later
Same.
on too. Yeah, the Judgment was good. I played it on the PS4 like 2 years ago or something like that. It was pretty dang good, honestly. Very similar fighting style and all that. But they're making a sequel to it. It's gonna be on PS4 and PS5. The sequel is supposed to be out this year. I know it's supposed to be out this
Okay.
year in Japan for sure. I don't know if we're getting it this year or next year, but yeah, Judgment 2, Lost to Judgment or something like that.
Okay.
I think it's what it's called.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to go on a crazy binge with that series at some point. I just haven't
Dude,
yet. I
get
have
Yakuza.
most of them.
Collection. That's 3, 4, 5, like on PS4.
I have a ton of them. One of my subscribers is like, here's like the entire series. So I'm like, okay,
Really?
great. So I haven't gotten around to playing them yet, but I have like almost all of them.
Me and my friend, we both got like every Yakuza game basically like available, and we played like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0. And he played
yeah.
like a dragon. I gotta play like a dragon still, and then I'll be caught up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. The PS5 version, I heard it's like improved and everything. I'm just waiting for it to go on sale.
I'll probably just wait
And
for
I'm
like
gonna finish these other games first.
Black Friday sale. Maybe I'll pick that up and a few other things.
Oh yes, that is true. If it's not on sale before Black Friday, it'll
Right.
probably be on sale then. Oh, Reunit. I just
Yes.
subbed to this channel, my channel, his channel.
Yeah. No, Ray Unit's a regular in my channel.
All the channels.
Yeah. Sub to them all.
Everywhere. Click the thumbs up button too, of course.
Yeah.
It helps
It does.
put us in that infamous YouTube algorithm that people are.
Here's something you may not have even heard about, but like YouTube, like they did, like one of the Creator Insider videos was talking about how, like, yeah, watch time's still important, but they're more leaning towards like actual viewer satisfaction.
Yeah, I
So
heard
stuff
about that.
like the like button and sharing the videos.
Yeah, clicking the like button, sharing it to other people, freaking of course, and commenting.
Yeah.
Of course, and I heard that I was watching that video actually. They said
Yeah, okay.
that they send. I never got one, but they said that they sometimes send the surveys out to people that
They do.
watched a certain video.
I've done some for. I've seen some of them for like fellow streamers and stuff, and I'm always just like, click.
thousands of videos on YouTube, and I never got a survey about like, do I like this video?
It's rare. I've seen maybe 4 or 5 of them. It's not at all common.
Is there like a like? I know for PlayStation, you have to like go on their website and opt in to like receive emails from them. I had to do that.
It's not even an email. It's just like it'd be when you're browsing like the homepage. If you go down so far, sometimes it's like, "What do you think about this video?" And it'll give you like a star rating. And they're like, "What do you like about it? Is it novel? Is it entertaining? Is it informative? Is it relaxing?"
Is it on the app only or something, or is it only on the website or something?
I've seen it on desktop. I don't know if it shows up on mobile.
That might be. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about now. I think that has popped up, but I think I ignored that.
I guess
I thought it was like a separate like an email. If they email it to me, I'd be more likely to do it because I do it at my own time. I don't like when it just pops up right there. Like email me it and I'll do it when I'm free. Like I do. Like when I get emailed surveys, I fill them out like whenever I can.
Like, if you miss one of those surveys on the front page, it's gone. Like I'm pretty sure it's like not going to linger. It's just
I prefer if they just send it to me in an email because I always I check my email daily and I do fill out customer surveys, all that stuff. Usually I do like YouTube and actually YouTube emailed me about a survey recently, like about certain stuff. I forgot, it was like something.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they said they sent it out to all the creators. So I got two. I got one channels and I was like, what? It was a demographic thing. They were asking you like what your age range is, what your ethnicity is, and what your all this stuff and whole bunch of stuff, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe I guess they were trying to get the demographic of like who's on YouTube creating like videos and stuff like that, analytics and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, I do appreciate it when they like send emails and stuff. It's like, hey, YouTube's listening, maybe.
Yeah,
you know, if it's a little bit.
I mean, hopefully. And you subscribe. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, yo. Subscribe to both channels if you can. They're linked to one another, like on the page, so they have direct links back and forth to one another, so you don't get lost or anything. Because I post separate stuff on each channel, you know.
Yeah.
But and I stream on Twitch too under the same username, of course.
Right.
Every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, typically, unless something pops up, then I push it back to a different day during the week.
What time generally?
Usually around nighttime, Eastern Standard Time, like 7, 8 o'clock-ish p.m.
Right on.
More so an evening person. Like around the same time we do this, basically.
Yeah.
But, man.
Perfect. Well,
that's it for now, guys.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably about time for us to, have some dinner or whatever.
Yeah, for real. Gotta freaking eat.
Oh, it was good talking. It was time just flew right by there. So.
Hell yeah. It's been like 2.5 hours, I think it says.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know what I'm saying? Especially when we're talking about freaking Final Fantasy and JRPGs.
Right.
And
don't even really notice.
The classics.
Oh, yeah. But we do this every Friday. Unless we're, unless we do it every Friday unless we don't. We've been pretty good about doing them every Friday.
Yeah. Once again, unless life just like happens and pops up and things happen. But outside of that, like emergencies every Friday.
Yep. Around this time.
Be there. Subscribe to the channel so you get the notifications, of course.
Yeah.
Those live pop-ups. Click the freaking, click the bell to get all notifications. Like
I think that's another part of like the satisfaction, but I never think to be like, hit the bell. Because I figure it's like, okay, you're subscribing, you probably know to do that already, but I don't know. Maybe I should say that.
Yeah. It's like in my head from like every freaking YouTuber ever.
Right.
Click the bell after you subscribe so you can get the notifications. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool, no problem. I guess why not?
Yeah. Click this one thing, I'll click another thing.
Yeah. Catch you guys next week, Friday nights, as always.
Yeah. I'm Mega Harv. That's Enigma. We're gonna go eat now. So have a good one, everybody.